Buffalo at Gillette Stadium. Patriots were in total control early. They sprinted out to a 21-0 second quarter lead, but then the Bills scored touchdowns on 5 consecutive drives and held the Patriots on their side of the field for their final 2 drives of the day for the win. Drake made 2 touchdown passes. Travion Henderson added TD runs of 52 and 65 yards, but the Bills got 3 TD throws from Josh Allen and a pair of TD runs from James Cook. Patriots are 11-3. They go to Baltimore Sunday night. Ravens won in Cincinnati yesterday 24-0. They're still very much alive for a playoff spot at 7-7. Kansas City eliminated from playoff contention, care of a 16-13 home loss to the Chargers. And in that game, Patrick Mahomes tore his left ACL. Green Bay lost to Denver 34-26. In that game, Micah Parsons left with a non-contact knee injury that the team fears is a torn ACL. Bruins ended their road trip by getting blown out in Minnesota 6-2. Kirill Kaprizov had 2 goals and an assist for the winners, and the 2 goals the Bruins got came after they were down 5-0. Their 4-game winning streak is over. They're back home to play the Utah Mammoths tomorrow night, and the Celtics get back to work tonight at home against Detroit. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Green upset this team in Detroit on the day before Thanksgiving. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston talk sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you gonna have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
A little bit of Fred Toucher here on a Monday morning. It's Hardy and Andrew Callahan and John Wallach here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Welcome in to the big post Patriots post-game show. There's many, many shows. This is the post-game show, as I view it, as we are going to continue talking about the Patriots' loss to the Buffalo Bills yesterday with you all morning long. And we've got Andrew Callahan here, which was by design. Fred decided at some point that he was not going to be here, A, because he had a vacation day left to use, and B, in the event that the Patriots won this game, I don't think he could bear it. I just don't think he could answer the bell.
I agree
and
with
sit
that.
here and talk about it for 4 hours.
I like it that it's growth, though, from Fred. He's not faking a flight delay from Cincinnati to miss a Monday in case the Patriots won. He's just saying, I'm not going to be there, and now he's following through. I think that's growth. I think that's good for Fred. That was the last time I was in on a Monday. And
you're tiptoeing it right up to a line there, which is like his whole reasoning behind that was like, why do people have an issue? Why do have people have an issue with it? Because
I didn't have an issue with it, to be clear. That got me in the studio. I was busting balls.
I had an absolute issue with it because
This is why I love you, Andrew, because you hit the right button there.
There was the feeling like that he was, what's the word I'm looking for? Lying.
Yeah. It took Hardy about, never to get over it. So you've pressed the right button and away we go.
You know?
Hold forth, sir. Go right ahead.
And that's just, take the day. I don't care. And the other thing that bugged me about that was when he had, banged in kind of not last minute. It was at 4 or 5 o'clock the day before. But I was like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And he called Louth to, find someone to fill in, which was great. But Fred's whole thing was well, that's his job. It's his job to do that. Well, Jim Louth does a lot of things around here, and probably the thing that he would least describe himself as, it's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I find people to fill in for Fred when he decides at the last moment that he's not going to work. Like, I don't think that's how Jim describes his purpose and his value to the radio station.
Yeah, I'm not professional radio sealant. When a host is missing, we have a hole in the show. You know what?
That just bugged me like on an empathetic level. It's like, oh, God, if I were Jim, I don't think I would like hearing that. I mean, Jim was at the game yesterday. He does a lot of stuff. But whatever. This was completely scheduled. And I actually applaud Fred for knowing himself well enough to know that he doesn't want to be here. Fred also doesn't like talking about the game, and I love this. I really do. And not from necessarily an X's and O's standpoint, because I'm not the one to bring you that information or necessarily to be the one who's like super insightful about it. But to have you here, Andrew, and to have Mike Reese on later, to have Bob Sosi on later, to ask them, okay, what is it about the red zone defense? I know there's something going on here. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that pass interference call in the fourth quarter and get down to, the actual, nuts and bolts of that play and why it was called the way it was. These are the things I like to talk about, plays from the game. And again, credit to Fred. He does not. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to talk about that stuff. So that's what we'll talk about today, because we don't have to worry about Polly Pissy Pants over there talking about stuff he doesn't want to talk about.
I do miss is that same weekend, the reason he was in Cincinnati was he was going to a Jets game. It was their first win. It was a big win. And he told this story about, I was on the field before the game. Bert got us down there. I didn't really ask to be down there, but it happened. And he was there with Milo, and they ran into the parents of a player who happened to be a quarterback. And they're like, oh, we're Brady Cook's parents. I didn't know who Brady Cook was when he told the story. It turns out he's a third-string quarterback from the Jets. You know who started yesterday
Brady Cook.
for the Jets? Brady Cook.
Wow.
I would love for Fred to get a hold of Mr. and Mrs. Cook again just to follow up, because then that's a work trip. He's getting content, and he didn't even know it a month later.
Yeah.
He said they had a real conversation for like 20, 30 minutes on the sideline before the game.
Yeah. There's a big moment for the Cooks or Cook?
The Cooks.
The Cook.
You think they're like a unit, like the Miami Heat of family?
No, forgive me for not knowing the third-string quarterback from the Jets' name. Is it Cook or Cooks?
Oh, sorry. I thought you talked about like
just
the
singular.
It's just Cook. Singular.
Just one Cook.
Brady.
All right. It was a big moment for the Cook family to have someone talking to them, probably, about their son as an actual professional football player. They probably have to spend a lot of time convincing people that their son does actually play for the Jets up until yesterday, when it was on display for the entire world. Yeah, the whole universe was watching that game yesterday as the Jets played. Who did they play?
They were in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, that's right.
Didn't do so well.
It was a great slate of games yesterday, but outcome for, I would say, most of them did not go my way. So we'll talk about some of those other games when we go around the NFL, and as I said, Reese and Sosi here with us, and a lot of phone calls this morning. So you know the number, 617-779-0985. Blind Scott is on the phone already. Should we just do this right now?
I want to do it right now. I can't speak for the entire room, but I'd like to do it right now.
All right, Blind Scott, go ahead.
Oh, hey, yeah, I'm kind of upset. I don't know if I'm allowed to go back in there, but I've been kicked out of the YouTube chat, and for some reason I was posting yesterday during the Patriots postgame. I was just saying some funny things, being Blind Scott. I had my full name and address in the YouTube chat. Everybody knew who I was. And then Nick Gemelli banned me from his couch at home. I was told that Nick banned me. He kicked me out of the chat. Another thing, too, I tried to attend the Dick's event at Copley a couple weeks ago. Now, I'm very happy with the outcome of all this stuff. I'm not complaining. But I tried to attend Dick's in Copley Square. There was Joe Murray and there was Matthew Slater. I was trying to gain entrance to the facility, and they said, we don't know you like that. We're not going to guide you in. We have to know you to do that. Now, I was trying to explain, I'm Blind Scott. I'm blind. There was a couple other people that were at the public library with me that were trying to help me out, get into the event, and they said, you guys smell like whiskey. Now, I did not smell like whiskey. Somebody was helping me get through the door. But I think I'm kind of on the wrong foot with this with some members at the Sports Hub, specifically the street team, the overnight team. So one time I call into the overnight show, and the producer on the overnight show, I say, Adam Vinatieri, he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. And they just freak out on me. They start swearing. They hang up the phone.
Yeah.
So yesterday when I got banned from the chat, I reached out to Joe Murray and said, Joe, you banned me from the chat. This is a big deal to me. This is my entertainment. This is what I do for fun. I don't think I did anything wrong. There was some Bills fans that were harassing me. Why did you block me? He goes, Nick blocked you. No, that's just crazy because Nick was at home drinking at noontime. There's no way he could have blocked me from at home when he wasn't even working.
Right.
So I kind of got a feeling
okay, so,
that they're afraid of blind Scott.
All right, thank you.
Hold on, can you keep on line?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, really quickly. This is an indelicate question, but I'm genuinely curious. Scott, you mentioned someone around you may or may not have smelled the whiskey. When you do have a whiskey, how many?
No, I don't drink whiskey.
Do you drink
hang out
though?
in Copley Square. No, I don't drink.
Okay.
I smoke marijuana. I drink coffee. You know. Hey, Andrew, I got to point something out. You said that Fred would have Brady Cook's parents on the show. It's not necessary that they would be good radio. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put anybody on radio.
Callahan,
It's
you
not
son of
like,
a bitch.
Excellent point, Scott. So let me,
Step
Scott,
faith in my guy Fred.
while you're still on the phone, Scott, let me tell you one thing. Number one, if you go to an event like that, I understand that it would be easier for you to get around and to be escorted to certain places, but we are very short-staffed when it comes to these events. There are sometimes people working these events.
I even reached out to them before. And they said, we don't know you like that. We can't do that.
Right. They're not going to allocate precious resources when they're already at a minimum to bring somebody in who is not technically part of the event, Scott, which you are not. You're just an attendee.
But Dick should have done it.
Okay, well, then your issue is with
call them.
Okay, and
Adam
they
should
might
be in
say
charge of the street team.
They might
Adam
say
should be in charge of the street team.
They might say the same
already.
thing.
I need a third.
They might say the same thing that I just said, that they don't necessarily have staff on hand to escort a last-second VIP that is...
Yeah, they were polite. So they were polite.
So
they explained to me that they thought it was a security breach, that these people that I was with might be dangerous. And I was trying to say they're just trying to huddle the doorway. I really don't know these people.
Why are you doing this?
All right. Now, Joe Murray, for some reason, is up right now. So, all right. Can you patch him in? Can we have him both on the phone? Or is that a
good idea?
Can I get to my indelicate question really quickly? Because I actually didn't get to ask.
You have another one.
I thought it was about the whiskey.
I thought that was it.
No. Asking if you drink whiskey, I think is perfectly appropriate.
Okay.
This may or may not be.
What's the indelicate question?
Do you smoke marijuana? You consume marijuana? Scott, do you ever walk under the influence? Like, what's the level of danger there?
Like I smoke a lot of marijuana, but residual marijuana in your bloodstream does not keep you intoxicated while you're walking. You know what I mean? It builds up. It's a tolerance. It's medical marijuana. It releases pressure in my eyes. I have a central nervous disease. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So I use a mobility cane. I'm 100% blind. I played college hockey. My dad's listening right now. He would call in and explain everything to him.
All right,
sure,
Scott, hold on one second. Joe Murray's on the phone now. Scott, I need you to shush while Joe says his piece. Number one, Joe, what are you doing up?
Oh, I have something going on this morning that I've been doing, but just the whole like.
That's very vague.
Very
Joe.
sketchy,
What
Joe.
exactly is that, Joe?
I have television this morning, fellas. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
So anyways, Blind Scott asked me to unblock him.
Okay.
I never ever said Nick Gemelli is the one that blocked you.
Okay.
But you blocked me. You go, I blocked him. You said I blocked him.
No, I actually have everything in writing, sir. I have everything
I'm
in
not
writing.
trying to accuse you of anything. I'm
Well,
just saying
you
you
throw
blocked
my
me.
name around like I'm the guy that's in charge of the blocking and all this stuff. Like,
Well,
you know,
said
like
Joe
like
and moderator, and then you said I blocked him. You said
Hey,
be nice. I blocked him.
Hey, listen to me. Don't just start throwing
yell at me,
people's names
Joe.
around like that.
Joe, you
Don't do that
blocked me,
stuff.
Joe. No, you blocked me, Joe. You're lying. You're lying.
You think I care about blocking you? You think I
Well, you
care?
did. Well,
No,
who
I
blocked me,
didn't.
Joe
I'm just
Ariana?
flapping your gums around. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, you want to have
flapping
breakfast?
your gums. You know that? People who talk
You want to
like
buy me breakfast?
get yourselves in
I'm not
trouble all the
flapping
time.
nothing. Dude, you're lying, Joe. You're just yelling like some idiot, Joe. You're not going to yell at me and try to put me down. You blocked me. You wouldn't let me into
Blind
Dick's.
Scott.
You're being a
Hey,
jerk.
Blind Scott, listen to me. You listen to me right now.
You wouldn't even let me go to
Keep-
Dick's, dude. You said I don't know you like that.
Scott, you have to be
Keep
quiet.
my name out of your mouth.
don't make me, Joe. Why do you make me? What, are you going to sit on me and break my leg?
All right.
Oh, boy.
All right.
The only thing better than an angry call into a sports talk radio station is an angry call into an angry call into the sports talk radio station.
No, the best thing
well
is
done by Joe.
No, the best thing is an angry Joe Murray.
I would
That's the best
have
thing out of all of this.
a long time. I think the audience has a saturation point in Blind Scott, so I let him go. Joe, I don't know how you operate your YouTube chat. I have nothing to do with ours. I would imagine you don't do any blocking or unblocking yourself specifically. Is that true?
Oh, I can put people in timeout.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I just don't like, hey, well, Joe Murray said this and Joe Murray said that and da-da-da-da. And I just, I don't operate that way. So, again, what's so funny is when people, are upset or do something, it's all of a sudden, well, why don't you make me? Right? You become the victim all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy driving around in the car hearing somebody saying my name and blaming Nick Giamelli. I would love to blame Nick Giamelli, guys. Trust me. But on this one, not me.
Right.
Nope. Not Nick either.
Do you have an issue with Nick? A lot of people around here have an issue with Nick, other fellow employees.
Nick and I have respectful friction, but overall, I do like working with Nick.
Okay. Do you know what the friction, what the genesis of that friction is?
I would say it's the previous version of this show.
Okay.
When I worked all the time on that show.
Okay. All right.
Nick, and again, I didn't even publicly. Nick and I have handled that one, I would say.
Okay. All right.
So is the Facebook status, it's complicated?
It's complicated.
No. I just think that in the past, Nick also used my name out of context and didn't like it. So that's why you're getting a call from me this morning.
What TV are you doing, Joe?
Nothing.
Nice.
All right. How did Nick use your name out of context?
Previous version of the show.
Joe,
All right.
Joe, I got to tell you, that smells. That explanation.
Well,
smells.
Listen.
No,
I'd like to know something. Speaking of smelly, I personally didn't have an issue with that play on fourth down with the flag, or I don't know, man. Maybe I'm
pass interference on Marcus Jones.
To tell you.
Pass interference on Marcus Jones.
I agree.
That's what he's talking about.
You didn't have an issue with the call?
No, it's an impossible spot to be in a defensive back, but by the letter of the law, that was pass interference.
Okay.
I agree with. We are on the same page. I don't know why everyone thinks it's the refs of why the reason.
Oh no.
Well,
and Joe, maybe you were talking to people last night that were blaming the officials for that game, but I got to say, whether or not, and was that a fourth down?
Yes, it was 4th and 2.
Oh, it was 4th and 2 when they aired that one out.
Yes.
Okay,
that's correct.
I have very little, and Joe, I'm going to let you go because your phone is very loud there. But thank you for calling in. The Bills' offense were able to do pretty much whatever they wanted in that second half. Mm-hmm. And had they not converted there, I think it would have been a quick turnaround. I think it would have been a quick turnaround on downs because the Patriots' offense was not doing much outside of one crazy-ass Trevion Henderson run that allowed them to score. Other than that, I think the Bills were winning that game regardless whether or not they got that call. Now you may look at the clock and say impossible, and I say no, quite possible.
Well, Andrew and I were actually talking about this a little bit before the show. Josh McDaniels emptied the playbook in the first half. You had throwback passes, you had stuff that the Patriots hadn't done all season. But then once the Patriots got back to what they normally do in the second half, Buffalo was ready for everything. And don't forget, the Bills are the first team all season looking at the Patriots for a second time. They were clearly ready for the normal Patriots offense and whatever they tried. When they were off balance is when Josh McDaniels did everything differently. That's something to look for moving forward here because now there's tape. Now teams that have seen the Patriots before, like Miami and the Jets later, this is something to be very, very careful of. There are some warning signals in this game. As well as the Patriots played on offense in the first half, there's some cautionary tales to look at.
So really quickly, because we're going to spend, the whole show on yesterday's game?
Yes.
The analysis, I think, is mostly on, but that also puts the whole game in Josh McDaniels' hands, and I just can't do that and not consider how Drake May played, which frankly was mediocre.
I didn't mean to do that. The execution clearly wasn't there in the second half.
Right, if he's a little more accurate.
But the Bills certainly were on to whatever McDaniels tried in half number 2 after he threw the kitchen sink at them in half number 1.
Yeah, and Vrabel said this about the Patriots defense versus the Bills offense, but I think this is true of the other matchup, Patriots offense versus Buffalo's defense. We called the same stuff. They called the same stuff. And that's what happens in the second half of your second divisional game of the season against an opponent that knows you well. You know generally what they want to do and how they want to get there. It comes to a matter of execution, which is like the lamest, stupidest, most obvious explanation. But when you've played already 6 quarters against the same team, that's really what it comes down to.
All right, I want to grab one more call here before we get into the game proper here, and that would be, of course, our – oh, my God, I just dropped him. Call back, Allie. Allie in Michigan. He's working at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Get right back on the phone, dude. Get right back on the phone, and we'll take you right away. Blind Scott, of course, is on the line again, and we're not going to do that. And we're not going to take calls about Blind Scott. So you can just save yourself. Save yourself the trouble of dialing and calling and sitting on hold. We've done that. We've done that this morning, and we're all set.
Glad he doesn't walk under the influence. With the cane, I'm not sure. Like, do you need extra help?
Yeah.
As a blind person, is it like driving? You don't want to be above 0.08 with the blood alcohol content.
And somebody else,
right? Like, at what point do you go? I've had one too many.
Right.
I don't want to walk. Can't walk on my own.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is it the same as driving? Is it less? Is it more?
I don't know.
Is it up to the person? Do they get a guideline?
Alf in Michigan. What's up, Alf?
Hey, fellas.
You at work?
Yeah. I'm at work. I showed up. I had to show up yesterday after the loss, too.
You haven't been working ever since then, have you?
Well, I was able to go home for a little bit and then come back.
All right. That's Sterling Heights 7-Eleven, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, 19.5 mile, not 32 mile like the other guy was saying, but the Lions had.
Yeah, he doesn't know where Sterling Heights is, but you go a little further up the road. That's the same direction north as where I grew up, but that's neither here nor there, Alf. Are you okay after the loss?
I'm a bit deflated. But I'll be all right. We got more Sundays than
Not a great word to use talking about the Patriots.
I gotta be real with you, man. Drake May.
Yeah.
He looks scared.
You know what? It's interesting, Alf. We're going to get into that. He did appear hesitant in the second half. I thought maybe after he had taken one big hit after the throw, that he had suffered something and he got a little gun shy, or maybe he was dealing with something physically. He didn't say anything about it in his postgame.
He was gun shy.
Yeah. All right, Alf.
We got to pump the brakes on the MVP chat because Tom Brady would have let us down the field.
That is a difference between the two right now, and all the things that you were looking for and waiting for from this Patriots team. They haven't had a fourth quarter comeback yet. They haven't had to rely on Drake May to lead them, down the field in a certain situation. A lot of things that you hadn't seen yet that led people to have questions about this team. You saw yesterday, and some of those questions, if not were answered, you got some information where you didn't have information before. And that's what's sobering. I'm not surprised that they lost. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. I've been talking about this before the Giants game. That Bills game is one that I think you're going to lose. If they're a really good team, you're playing them for a second time, and they look better recently. So I'm not surprised at the loss. I'm not surprised at the score. What shocks me is the way it went down.
Yeah.
And to see the way the Patriots let go of the rope in the second half, which is also something we haven't seen before. To see them blow a lead and to completely dismantle after having control of the game. Let's get into the game proper. We'll go through it with you, and feel free to call in all morning on this game. 617-779-0985. Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
How come the dude got a Lions hat on?
What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, Andrew Callahan, John Wallach is going to take us through the Patriots game comprehensively, and we'll sprinkle in some phone calls with you here all morning long here on Toucher and Hardy. John, where do we start?
All right, we start right at the beginning. A lot happened yesterday. Patriots hosted Buffalo in the snow at Gillette Stadium, and with a win, as you guys know, the Patriots would have both swept the regular season series with the Bills and clinched the division for the first time in 6 years, and things couldn't have gone better in the first half. Ramondre Stevenson, a 15-yard run up the middle on the very first play of the game, and then later in the drive, we had this. I said later in the drive, am I up 12?
Take two.
Take two. You want to try this again? Here we go.
The snap to May, drops back. He's going to throw it to the right side, and a diving catch, laying out and making the grab inside the 30, Kayshon Boutte. He's on his feet, and now the forward progress is halted at the 25-yard line. A beautiful throw by May out in front of Boutte with a diving catch behind Hairston.
Okay, an obvious incomplete pass on replay, but Buffalo did not get the replay in time. Why do you think that was?
I mean, McDermott said they just didn't have a good look at it. And if I'm them, it's the first quarter, it's early. I expect this game, which is basically a coin flip, to come down to the fourth quarter. I'd rather save my challenges unless I'm 100% sure. Not even 99, and then they just went down and scored anyway.
That pass was, perfectly placed. But again, if I'm McDermott, I'm looking at that, and even I have questions on it. I'm saying to myself, they're not going to kill us with that all day. That was Kayshon Boutte coming up with a catch that I don't expect him to be making all day on us, and I don't expect Drake May to be throwing it that well and placing it that perfectly because, again, on a lot of these plays, you're like, that's not open. He shouldn't even have thrown that. Turns out he was right to throw it, and he dropped it in there, and it was bobbled as he was coming down with it. So yeah, upon replay, didn't look great. But if I'm McDermott, I'm not worried about them doing that all day long. So fine. All right, you got away with one there. We'll move on. I'm not gonna possibly lose a timeout here by challenge.
Okay, so the Bills didn't challenge it, and the Patriots quickly got the ball into the red zone.
A fake to Henderson. May runs it to the left, straight to the 5, angling to the pylon. Yeah. He's in. Touchdown, Patriots!
What an opening drive. Holy crap. Josh McDaniels mixing it up. Coming with the RPO with the guy that's challenging to be the MVP on a keeper to the left. And he just tiptoes in at the pylon.
Okay, 7-0 good guys after the first drive of the game, and a little bit of a surprise out of the McDaniels playbook.
That was the first option run the Patriots have called in the red zone where Drake May kept the ball. And that's dependent, obviously, in his read, in this case, the defensive end, H.A. Epineza, who forgot that Drake May had the option to keep the ball because he just went straight for Henderson. But that was illustrative of how Josh McDaniels had saved stuff throughout the course of the season, and you saw this on the second touchdown, too, that said, we're going to use this against Buffalo, we might use it against Baltimore, but it'll be December or January, we're going to get a touchdown, and they did. So it was a good, really good opening script and game plan from them.
Ultimately, it was
and also, by the way, a great opening drive for a team coming off the bye. Like, all right,
yes,
we've been working on this even a little bit longer than teams would normally work on their opening drive. Are we going to be able to pull off all this stuff? Yeah, they were able to pull it all off, and it was fun to watch, and it was awesome. Like, yep, empty the clip. This is the time to do it. What a game to save this for. This makes sense. And the Zoe mentions the guy challenging for the MVP. That's the first time he heard the chance of MVP for Drake May after that touchdown.
So 7-0 Patriots, but on the ensuing kickoff, the Bills got a long return to midfield, even though they went 3 and out right after that, and Josh Allen missed a wide-open Dalton Kincaid down the field. It foreshadowed a long day for the special teams. The two teams traded punts after that, and Josh McDaniels got loose with the playbook. On top of an earlier reverse, the Patriots got 13 yards on a toss to Ramondre Stevenson, a throwback to Drake May, a pass to Mac Hollins, and ultimately that helped May close out another drive.
May points to his helmet. Where's the plays on the wristband, left wrist. He takes the snap. He drives. He runs up the middle. Untouched. Patriots add to their lead on Drake May's second touchdown of the afternoon.
It's 14-0 after one quarter. Total yards through one. Patriots 144 yards. Buffalo 14.
So this is a fantastic play, and I understand everyone's a little sad today, probably a little bit mad, whether it's the refs or the Patriots. But go back and watch this, because that touchdown, we're all watching it the first time, and I don't know what the call was in the press box, but you're thinking, oh, what a nice scramble. That was easy. Like, the only thing missing was a red carpet down the middle of the pocket in the field. It was a quarterback draw. And the best part about this play was how everyone sold it. This was a total con from the start. Drake May looking one way, looking the other. The receivers run real routes and then stop once they've triggered the Bills, who were matching coverage based on the routes. And they knew they were going to do this. So this is the tiny little details.
So, Andrew, just real quickly,
Yeah.
whoever the receiver on the right ran a great route, and I think Dre gave a little look over there to pull either the safety or the linebacker over at the last possible second, which really was the last foot and a half of that red carpet into the end zone.
And the other part about, there were some routes that kind of broke towards the middle, but then once they had gotten the attention of the linebackers or the safeties, who they call this walling off the coverage. Like, if your assignment as a defender is to wall off, what that means is stop an inside breaking route by you basically turn towards them in the sidelines. So you're not looking at the quarterback anymore. That happened with the linebackers looking left and right from the middle, meaning no one was looking straight ahead at Drake May. That's why he was so open. It was all by design. A quarterback draw is not just a quarterback draw. This was an awesome play design, and why the coaches stay up till 2, 3 a.m. and tell you about all their grunt work. That paid off right there.
And it looked so easy, and Drake May is so capable of it. You're thinking, this is awesome. This is something that, you see in the middle of the field sometimes that isn't necessarily by design. He's got the legs and he's got the moves in order to pull this off. But when it's by design and a play like that, we're like, they could do this for the rest of the season and all the way into San Francisco. What a great play. We got this in the chamber. Fantastic.
What? Wait. There's more.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson showed up in quarter number 2.
Give to Travion, runs to the right, stop and start. He accelerates past the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Chased by a pair of Bills. Who won't catch it? Touchdown, Patriots!
If you're a Buffalo Bill fan right now, what are you thinking? Your window is closed.
I love so.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Patriots lead 21-0, beginning of a big day for Travion Henderson. But remember, I told you guys about the special teams.
Okay, hold on. One thing on that Travion Henderson run. This is when the stadium is going to explode. I mean, this was unexpected for him to go off and complete that run. And also, Zoe saying that was maybe the first time that he said something along the lines of, it's over. I got an email last night saying, Karen in Ohio, I'm not a superstitious person. We were listening to the game in the truck. At one point in the first half, Zoe said something to the effect of, we're going to be AFC East champs. My friend turned to me and immediately said, you guys are going to lose this game. Mother effer was right.
So, no, Zoe.
So the window is closed.
Yep.
The Bills.
It's 21-0.
The Pats are going to be AFC East champs.
Yep.
All of it. All of it.
All
right.
All right. It's 21-0. Remember, I told you guys about the special teams. Immediately after the Henderson touchdown, another long return for Buffalo, plus a Brendan Schooler face mask penalty, puts the ball on the Patriots 42. Josh Allen finally made all of that hurt.
Allen, a throw to Cook, leaks up, makes the catch, is in for a touchdown. He beat the diving Ellis to the pylon, and Buffalo is on the board.
Help call. 2 of your best players on offense. Your 2 best players on offense. Fight back. Get it to 21-7 here before the half. It's a mismatch on Ellis. Cook on Ellis.
All right. Patriots lead is now 21-7, but they took the ball back down the field, and I guess as 2-minute drives go, Andrew, that was surgical. That was brilliantly played, including a run with 6 seconds left and 1 timeout left to get closer for a field goal to make it 24-7 at the half.
Yes, it's hard to fathom when you hear Zoe make that call 21-0, and it's, they're champs. They're going to champs. The window's closed. Buffalo scores, and the Patriots only answer with the field goal. But you got to remember at that point, there's enough time if they end up punting or just kicking a field goal and you leave 50 seconds left for Buffalo to score again. Like, that's what they were afraid of and how good Josh Allen is. So it was a successful drive. Even though you got outscored in the last 2 minutes, you had the last score, and that was it. Even if it was just a field goal, that was a good 2-minute drive.
You take away the threat of the double score because the Bills are going to be getting the ball to start the second half, and that's where we will go when we continue
All right.
Not now.
I know that. I know that.
now.
I just want to bring this up. 24-7 at the half. Patriots had a winning streak of 120 straight games when leading by any point by 21 or more at home heading into the second half.
See, you're jinxing it in the aftermath, John.
But that's fair game. I can do that in the aftermath.
I felt good going into the break. Yeah, 24/7. That's all I had.
I can't. There's so much football on yesterday. I can't remember how this one ended. Wait a second. Are you saying that this is going to end poorly?
120 straight games they had won leading by 21 points at any point.
How did it happen? Well, John will help us all remember when we continue here after the headlines on Toucher and Hardy. Stay with us.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Gosh, I hate to ruin this for everyone, but the Buffalo Bills scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives, and that enabled them to climb out of a 21-0 hole. They beat the Patriots in Foxborough 35-31. That snaps the Patriots' 10-game winning streak. They're in Baltimore on Sunday night. Ravens won yesterday 24-0 in Cincinnati. They are 7-7. Minnesota got 2 goals and an assist from Kirill Kaprizov. They beat the Bruins 6-2 last night. Alex Steves and Andrew Peak goals for the Bruins. They play Utah at TD Garden tomorrow night, and the Celtics will be at home tonight to face Detroit. Grandy and Max had the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Oakers Technologies. The Hauser family would like to thank their team and customers. Get your school or business future ready for 2026 by visiting Okers.com. Happy holidays from Okers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Your holiday plans just got tastier at the 99 restaurant. Picture this: creamy, dreamy new lobster carbonara or satisfying new baked stuffed shrimp and lobster casserole. Celebrate big with us. You gotta love the Nines.
The new holiday scratch tickets from the Mass Lottery are here. And with $191 million in total prizes, it's the holiday gift even Santa can't compete with. Sorry, big guy. The new holiday scratch tickets from the Mass Lottery. Must be 18 or older to play.
This is Sean Grandy, voice of the Celtics. Tune in tonight at 6:30 for Star Market Celtics Tonight. And check out the Star Market app. Earn rewards and save on your groceries and gas with Star Market for you. Download the Star Market app today. Go shopping, get rewarded. Star Market, the official supermarket of the Boston Celtics radio network.
Hey, it's Ryan Rivard, project director at Blue Sky Restoration. When the unthinkable happens, fire, flood, storm, or structural damage, it's not just your property that's affected. It's your sense of safety, your memories, your livelihood. At Blue Sky Restoration, we understand that behind every emergency is a person, a family, a team. Real lives disrupted. That's why we do more than just restore buildings. We are committed to restoring your property and your life for a brighter tomorrow. So when disaster strikes, don't panic. Visit goblusky.com and our team will be there.
Patriot Place is your holiday destination for dining, shopping, and entertainment. Score gifts for everyone on your list at Vineyard Vines, Bass Pro Shops, Ulta Beauty, and more. Or give the gift of choice with a Patriot Place gift card available online or in person. Gather with friends and family at Estella, The Harp, Tavolino, and more. Experience the joy of outdoor skating at Winterscape or try your hand at pickleball at 11 Indoor Courts. So download the Advantage app today and start planning your visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy the holidays.
Field again. He got a James Cook touchdown, and this time the Patriots called for defensive holding on 3rd and 5 from the 14-yard line. Went out into a incomplete pass out the back of the end zone. The Cook TD, by the way, came on 3rd down. It's 24-21. Patriots do nothing with a 3-point lead, and once again the self-destruction. Kyle Williams, long return, called back because of a penalty. So a killer to Kincaid. Back came Buffalo. They converted 3 third downs, and that includes a killer to Dalton Kincaid on 3rd and 7. Then there was the deep ball to Khalil Shakir on 4th down that both he and Marcus Jones came down with, but Jones called for pass interference. That was a 50-50 ball. Jones came away with it. It didn't matter because the penalty was called, but I think that was a big play in this game.
Oh, it's huge. It's 4th down. You get a stop there. Patriots get the ball back, they might win this game. I mean, there's only 11:22 left in the game at that point. And I'll tell you, in the press box, they announced it as a catch for Khalil Shakir, and that should have been a pick. But the pass interference, as far as that goes, I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, they called it complete to Shakir, so it should have been an interception. Didn't matter. The pass interference was legit, and it just sucks for Marcus Jones because this is a classic case of a quarterback throwing the ball long. It's a little underthrown. He's got his back turned until the last second, runs into the receiver, and the contact was early. But that's only because the ball was underthrown. Marcus Jones did his job and closed the gap. But ultimately, that's a flag by the letter of the law. I had a bigger issue with one we're going to hear later, but to me, it's just bad luck on that play for Marcus Jones.
And just on that one play, had Marcus Jones turned and spotted the ball a split second beforehand and was playing the ball, and that is the reason for the contact, because obviously the receiver is going to stop too when the ball is underthrown. I don't think PI gets called there, or it shouldn't be called there by letter of the rules. Is that correct?
Yeah, and this drives defenders crazy, and I side with them 100% of the time. Like, Dante Hightower was tweeting through it, all caps, of like, get the F out of here with that call during this play, because there's nothing else they can do. Like, there's no reason for Marcus Jones covering this route, and they're in man coverage. They played man coverage half the time to think, oh, yeah, Josh Allen, of all quarterbacks, is going to underthrow this. Why don't I turn my head around? Because when you do that, you slow down. That's not what they're taught.
All right. Jones called for pass interference. Once again, Buffalo gets within striking distance. A holding penalty gives them 3rd and goal from the 14-yard line. Patriots easily get a stop here, right?
Allen's rolling right. He's got room. He throws on the go to the end zone. It's caught by Knox. Touchdown, Buffalo. Josh Allen.
Unicorn.
Sliding right, on the roll, throwing a dart, another tight end. Touchdown for Buffalo.
Okay.
They can't cover tight ends.
No.
And leading up to this game, you're talking about the things that you're going to have to improve upon if you want to have a deep playoff run with this team right now. You're going to have to figure out a way to continue to shore up whatever issues you've got on the left side of the line, which popped up a couple of times yesterday with there being holes on the left side. And you're going to have to figure out a way to cover tight ends, especially against a team like Buffalo.
3rd and goal at the 14-yard line, and Buffalo scores. That was the theme of the game. They couldn't get off the field ever in the second half.
They should have played better. At this point, especially on that play, like Joe said it, and he was right. Josh Allen is a freak. And that play, not just, the throw that he made, it's extending it, knowing where to go, where the matchups are, where they want to throw to Kincaid and Knox, who only had 6 combined catches for 71 yards, but virtually all of them were important because Knox had 2 touchdowns. Like, there's no weakness in that guy's game, and that's where the Patriots said it. This is his superpower. He's going to come back to haunt us, and that touchdown was the best example maybe all day.
So that's 28-24 at this point.
28-24. However, Patriots get the ball back. They had an immediate response.
May under center. Tosses it right for Travion Henderson. The Bills have it defended well. He tries to bounce it back left. He sprints across the 40. Near the side, 45-50. 45-40. 2 men to beat to the 25-20. 15-10. Touchdown,
Patriots! You got to be kidding me!
And like that, New England has the lead.
Travion Henderson, a 65-yard touchdown run with Drake May blocking for him downfield. It's 31-28 Patriots with 9:49 left.
Are you guys used to a Patriots running back pulling away from literally everyone else in the field yet? Because I am not.
No.
This is my job. It's your job. And there's a reason we're not used to it. This is from the team. Henderson has 4 touchdowns of 50 yards or longer this season. Okay? That is the first player ever to do that for the Patriots. There are only 2 players in NFL history to have 5 such touchdowns of 50 yards or longer. Chris Johnson in 2009, who I think got 2,000 yards that year, and Jim Brown, maybe the best football player to ever live.
It ties a rookie record, 4 touchdowns of 50 yards or more.
Drake May, by the way, lead blocker on that play. Hit 20 miles an hour.
Now, I heard this one in the car. I heard this play, and I could not wait to get home and see Drake May. I'm like, oh, my God, he's just tossing bodies aside. Okay, easy. Yeah. I'm very happy that he got out in front and he was downfield, and again, he's like running fast. He got in the way. He did what he needed to do. But let's not fall all over ourselves talking about the great blocking. He did what he had to do, but it wasn't with the physicality that I was led to believe on the call.
Well, that's not my fault. That's Bob's fault.
Okay.
I will fall all over myself if I please.
Blocker. Let's just leave it a trail of
Drake
bodies
May
in
ran
his
20
way.
miles an hour and was almost step for step with one of the fastest players in football. I'm sorry. I am going to be as excited about that play as I was any that Drake May made yesterday.
That's fine.
That's insane.
That's fine. Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
He did what he had to do, and he was running interference.
I'm sorry Drake May didn't throw his shoulder in, with his, especially lead with his golden
kind of what
arm.
I thought was going to happen. You look at it there, and it's like, where's the block? I keep hearing about it.
Way. As a quarterback, that's as good a block as you're ever going to get.
Okay, that's fine.
Blocked him with his
throwing
his aura.
bodies left and right. So Buffalo got the ball back down 3, and thanks to a Carlton Davis pass interference on 3rd down at midfield.
So this is important, John, and I was thinking about this morning. Okay, so the Patriots on the previous Bills possession are out there for 13 plays in 6.5 minutes. So that Pats defense, and of course that ends in a touchdown. They're gassed. All right, let's catch our breath here. Let's regroup. You get one play from scrimmage, and then you got to go back out there.
Yep.
All right, it's a nice position to be in because the Pats regain the lead 35-31, but you've got a
31-28.
31-28,
Yeah.
but you've got practically no time to regroup and reset as a defense, and now you got to get back out there against Josh Allen, who is feeling it in the second half.
And here's the killer part, just to jump in.
Yep.
They played man coverage 50% of the time, which was totally expected. We can get into this. The game declared itself before it even happened. When you play that much man coverage, you're going to get tired. And especially when you do it in the fourth quarter, which is when they played more than half of those man coverage snaps. So you're chasing around. I don't know if Carlton Davis was fatigued. I don't really think this was a penalty, but that absolutely factors in what you brought in is you're right back out there after a long drive, and the defense that you're playing is more exhausting than most. Then throw in the delay on this flag, which was outrageous.
Yeah.
This is like an NBA call where they're judging someone gets hacked on a layup. Oh, if it makes, we won't call it. If it's a miss, we will, which is nonsense. There was almost 3 whole seconds that passed between the end of the play and then the flag that was thrown.
Let's do it on the other side.
Sure.
Okay? All right, and then we'll take care of it, and then we'll take your calls before we talk to Mike Reese coming up at 7:20 here this morning on Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to WBZ-FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Buffalo got 3 touchdown passes from Josh Allen, 2 TD runs from James Cook, and they rallied for a 35-31 win over the Patriots in Foxborough yesterday. Patriots are up 21-0 in the second quarter and 24-7 at the half, but couldn't get off the field against the Bills offense, who scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives to take the lead. Drake made 2 touchdown passes, Travion Henderson a pair of TD runs. Patriots are 11-3. They still have a 1-game lead in the division. They visit Baltimore on Sunday night. Ravens are 7-7 after a 24-0 win in Cincinnati yesterday. Patrick Mahomes tore his left ACL near the end of a 16-13 Kansas City home loss to the Chargers. Chiefs now out of playoff contention, and Green Bay lost Micah Parsons to an apparent torn ACL of his own in a 34-26 loss to Denver. Minnesota got 2 goals from Kirill Kaprizov and a goal from Quinn Hughes in his first game with his new team. They ran over the Bruins 6-2 last night. Alex Steves and Andrew Peak both scored for the Bruins, but after they were down 5-0, they play Utah at TD Garden tomorrow night, and the Celtics use the building for basketball tonight when they host Detroit. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Pistons are an Eastern Conference best 20-5, but they lost to the Celtics the last time these two teams faced each other. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurant. Celebrate the season at the Nines with delicious holiday menu specials like the creamy lobster carbonara or the big stuffed shrimp and lobster combo. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Mays under center, offset off.
Drake May.
Throws down Drake rolls well, working traffic. Off balance, throw it in the end zone. Caught by Jones. Pass is going to be.
Drake May plays on one station in Boston.
Here's another Drake May moment.
Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
When you play in a team like that, they play from behind. They're used to playing from behind and fighting back and clawing. They've been together for some years now, and they led this division for a while. So in order to get over that hump, you got to play 60-minute football and execute at a high level.
Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred out. Andrew Callahan is in. John Wallach is about to wrap up yesterday's Bills-Patriots game with one final area of note. What is that, John?
The one final area of note is the final Buffalo drive. We were talking about the Carlton Davis pass interference on 3rd down in midfield to keep the lead going or keep the drive going. And down by 3, they took the lead back.
Allen under center, 2nd and 1, handoff. Cook runs through the middle. He's got a touchdown. He ran right past the Patriots defensive front and by Jalen Hawkins, who tried to scrape him at the shoelaces. And Buffalo has regained the lead.
Yeah, they kicked your tail the second half, man. They really have. See if you got anything left in the tank. 6:48, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning.
35-31 with 6:48 to go. Could the Patriots respond and grab a division title? No. Hunter Henry had a pass go through his hands on 3rd and 12 on one possession, and then the Patriots turned the ball over on downs deep in their own territory to end it. Buffalo 35, Patriots 31. They're 11-3. They had a lot of missed chances in this game. I don't know how you felt about that Hunter Henry throw. I thought he should have had it. Maybe it was a first down, maybe it wasn't. It was right at the sticks.
It was going to be a first down. I was watching it again this morning, watched the fourth quarter again this morning before coming in, and I believe it would have been a first down, and you gotta make that catch.
Yeah, he's having the best year of his career. He's a top 10 tight end. He was hard on himself. You could tell just from a small video. Him walking back to the locker room, we all watch these now, Mike Vrabel greeting every player.
Yeah.
He's telling Hunter Henry, 10-year veteran, this is the National Football League. Like, bleep happens.
Yes.
And Henry's head, which is never down for long, but is still like, man, I screwed that up. And I thought live it was just a bad throw. And it wasn't a great throw, don't get me wrong. But to your point, that's about who you are, how consistent you've been. You got to bring it in.
Now, listen, they lost the game by 4. So had he picked up that first down and they would have gotten him into field goal range, so what? It's not enough, and I don't think it necessarily would have, flipped the entire game, but it would have kept obviously the drive going, and they would have had a chance.
All right, one quick kind of post-game thing from Drake May here, and again, not a lot of excuses. You were up 24-7, but Drake May tried to look at the positive.
Move on to the next week and learn from it. Take what we can and know that we got some football ahead of us that is important, still very important. And don't just hang our hat and keep your head up and know that we had a chance and we're there. Just they made more plays and credit to them.
It's important, I think, to frame this game in a certain light. There are obviously two ways you can look at it. The Patriots are up 21-0 at home. You don't blow leads like that if you're a good team. However, this was a young team. We say this every week. Snaps from rookies this season. I think the Patriots are second in the National Football League in that category. It's a team that didn't know how to win a game like this, and that was clear in the second half. Andrew, how do you look at this? Do you look at it as a good team who blew a lead they shouldn't have, or rookies that hadn't been there before that were taught a very valuable lesson?
No, this is a good team that blew it. And I think there is a lesson to be taken here, and they all know it, that, as I wrote after the game, you can't commit the cardinal sin of surviving a horror movie, which is exactly what this game became once they went up 21-0, and that you've got to kill off the villain, in this case the Bills, in case the division champions, when you have the chance. And they did not early in that second half, when Drake May, who was 9 of 11 at halftime, goes 5 of 12 after that. And part of it was taking sacks. The interception was whatever. It was basically an arm punt. But he was inaccurate. And like the simplest analysis going into this game was the right one. Because when you look at the construction of both of these teams, the quarterback who plays best was going to win this game. It was obviously Drake May in the first half. But what Josh Allen did in the second half, of course, with James Cook, is what won this game for Buffalo. And deeper stats would tell you this was just the third inaccurate performance of Drake May's season by completion percentage over expected. Okay? That's a third in the last 5 games. So there's something here where he's kind of, I'm not saying regressed, because he's still great. He's going to be fine. But when he's not at his best, which is to be expected sometimes, the Patriots are going to suffer because of how much is on his shoulders. That's what this was about to me.
Should Patriots fans worry that this was the first time a team had seen them for the second time and seemed to shut them down in the second half?
No, because I think you can have some of their mistakes, whether it's the Henry drop, some poor throws by Drake May that he normally doesn't make. But again, the last 5 weeks are like, the accuracy's kind of coming and going. There's stuff they could have done and just didn't. The thing, though, that gets me is there's things that defenses are landing on more often, whether it's the man coverage, simulated pressure that you saw in that last 4th down.
Yep.
And you've got people that are more mindful and getting wise to Drake May's scrambling. There's no blueprint, but like any quarterback, there are things you can do to make his life a little bit more difficult that increases your chances he'll have a bad game. Buffalo did those things in the same way that you saw Tampa do a couple of those things. You saw the Bengals screw around. There was some dropping 8, rushing 3. And those are things, if they run into Denver or Houston, that are going to be supercharged because they have a super amount of defensive talent. So there, again, it's not a big worry to me, John, but there are elements here where maybe the best way to contain Drake May is to limit everyone around him with your simulated pressures, confusing the running backs and offensive linemen, and strapping up to those receivers who, let's look at this. Matt Collins led everyone with 4 catches. After that, Diggs had 3 for 26. Booty had 1 for 30 that probably should have been overturned. That's it for the receivers yesterday.
The final incompletion that Drake threw, I mean, the coverage downfield was so good.
Yeah, they were in man.
There was nowhere to throw it. Nothing he could do. I don't you blame him for that. What I do think when you're looking at the overall picture of this game, 2 things. Number one, there were a couple of things you needed to do. Figure out a way to cover the tight ends and to keep Josh Allen contained in the pocket. In the second half, Josh Allen was able to get out of the pocket, and he was able to make things happen. So whatever you were able to do to thwart that in the first half, you were unable to do in the second half. Whether it's adjustments, whatever it was, and Andrew, you talked a little bit about this in terms of what both teams were doing, from the first half to the second half. But Josh Allen seemed a lot freer in the second half, and he was moving around, and they weren't containing him, which I think was a big problem. But in terms of how to feel about this, I don't feel bad about the loss. I thought they were going to lose this game. I thought they were going to lose this game 2 weeks ago. What you can feel bad about is the fact that you're up 21-0. You're up 24-7 at half, and then you get outscored 28-7 in the second half by a team who's been there, by a team that is now feeling themselves in a way that a team really only can, that has been there before and has the confidence of a team that knows what it's like to get to a divisional round, a conference championship round, and have that feeling and sense and knowing that they're good enough to do it, versus a team that they haven't quite been there yet, and they're thinking maybe we're not ready for this. And yesterday, if there's any doubt in that room as to whether or not they're ready, the weak-minded of that lot will say, well, it turns out we're not ready. It's not the worst thing in the world, and the loss isn't the worst thing in the world. You lost by 4 to a really good football team. But the way you lost might invite the thoughts of, we're really not quite ready for this. We thought we were, but we're not quite ready. We're not as ready as a team like that is ready.
I think what it did, if you're looking at this optimistically, and I think there are cases for both. I wrote after the game, like, there's a hard truth about the roster, which I'll get to in a second, but there's also needed hardship that they just haven't had since mid-September, which was the last time that they lost, September 21st. You need calluses going into the playoffs when you have tough football, tight games, bruising football, and when you win 10 games in a row, you're just not getting calloused in a way that's going to protect you or prepare you for those kind of moments. A game like this gives you a lot of calluses and maybe some scars. So a win is a win, but losses are lessons if you treat them as such, and I think the Patriots will. Here's the problem, though, about the hard truth of the roster. There were only a couple different ways this game was ever going to go, and it declared in a way that the Patriots knew Buffalo was going to want to run the ball, so they played base defense. 4 defensive backs. It's your old 3-4 sets. Buffalo only had a 46% success rate when rushing at that. Pretty good. But in short yardage, they got what they wanted. Again, it was 80%. When Buffalo threw the ball, it was going to be man coverage because that's how you test Josh Allen. Josh Allen beat that when he needed to. So there aren't a whole lot of changeups that they have based on their roster because the Patriots are bringing Corey Durden and Josh Farmer to a gunfight with the league's MVP. And that is just going to put a ceiling on your performance when you understand your margin for error is small, and in the second half, when you make all those mistakes, you're going to lose games, and that was one of the avenues that happened, and they expected it. Josh Allen's going to come back and haunt you and knock you out.
Having said all of that, are you worried that the Patriots can't beat this team if they play again?
No.
Regardless of where it is, there or here.
So, like I said, there are only like 3 ways that this game goes, and they're all close games. And we saw it. Like the difference too is, that last drive. If Drake May converts and leads another game-winning drive, or Trayvon Henderson breaks off a long run, we're not talking about the defense like this. We're talking about Drake May did it again. And so I think that whatever they do or don't play in the playoffs, if they do see Buffalo, I can guarantee you it's going to be another close game because it comes down to 2 good teams carried by great quarterbacks. And they're going to go as far as they can take them because defensively, both of them don't have great options. And the other team knows what they want to do and how to exploit that. It's just that Buffalo's pressure and simulated pressures got to Drake May more than, or just in the same way that the Patriots got to Josh Allen in the first half.
I'm not worried about facing this team again at all. I mean, it's clear the Patriots can stay with them regardless. And it's clear that Drake May can make plays. He did it. He did it up in Buffalo in front of a national TV audience. And he was very good in the first half. If you told me the Patriots have to go to Buffalo to make the AFC Championship game, great, let's go. I have no problem with this.
Josh Allen scares me more than any player in the conference,
of course.
Which means Buffalo scares me more than any team because I put it like this. Houston's close, right? Like their defense is freaking ridiculous. They play cover 1 at quarters, and they rush 4, and they tell you what they're going to do, and they kick your ass anyway. If I have to choose between trusting the Patriots defense to stop Josh Allen on a game-winning drive, or Drake May to beat the Texans on a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter, I have more faith in Drake May to do that than I do the defense to stop Josh Allen.
Yes.
So I don't want to see Buffalo again.
I'm with you.
But they absolutely could beat
play him, but I'm also not scared if the Patriots have to go and do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Drake. I mean, Josh Allen's a defending MVP. We saw why in the second half. He is more threatening than anybody else in the conference, but Patriots have hung with this guy in both games they've played against him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm not preferring, I don't want to, of all the teams in the AFC, I'm not saying I want to play them, but I'm also not scared to go play them either.
Right. I would rather not play a team a third time that seems to have figured out a way to beat you the second time around. And if you're just looking at the 2 teams right now, if you're going to choose the 2 quarterbacks, if you're going to choose the 2 sets of receivers, I like Buffalo a little bit better at this point. It was a fantastic first half from the Patriots, but I think the better team emerged in the second half. And I think the better team won yesterday. So I'm not jumping up and down to play for a third time who I think is the better team out of the two.
They beat you using their base stuff. Like Vrabel said it. We all asked him some variation of the same question in the postgame press conference. Like, hey, man, what happened in the second half? He goes, well, you saw it. Like, we ran the same stuff. They called the same stuff, and they just beat us. And I asked specifically about the base defense because, again, that's the Patriots' answer to the best running game in the league. We got to bulk up. We're going to play 3-4. And Milt Williams is out. Don't get me wrong. That's an issue. But Milt Williams doesn't explain their run defense falling apart basically since week 9. He'll come back. He'll be a huge factor when they play in the playoffs again. But the reason you would be disappointed more than most, even on a disappointing Monday, is that Buffalo didn't do anything fancy to beat you. They just lined up, played you straight up, and came away with a 28-point second half that knocked you out.
All right, let's take some of these calls here. We'll go to Jason, who is in Derry, New Hampshire. Jason, thanks for calling. What do you got?
I thought at halftime of the game last night, the Bills coaching staff took the 3 coordinators and the head coach for the Patriots, gave them a wedgie, and stuffed them in the locker. There was a complete no-show by the coach the second half. They had no answers whatsoever. To be up 21-0 and lose a game, that's an epic choke job. 5 straight touchdown drives for the Bills. That's zero resistance. It's basically aiding and abetting. Not once can that defensive coordinator come up with a play to get a stop, and then coming out of half of the offense, you're up. You want to work the clock, run the ball, give the defense a rest. I think 15 plays second half for the offense. I think 12 of them were passed and 3 were run. No first downs. McDaniels didn't do anything last night either. Vrabel looks like McDermott usually does. And then other than that, was there any big penalties called against the Bills second half? I don't remember. Thanks, guys.
Very few penalties against the Bills, period. Do you have the box score up there?
I do, but I want to address something he said specifically, and I think he's spot on because, look, the defense was the bigger issue, and we've talked a lot about that. So I'm just going to hone in on Josh McDaniels for a second. There were only 3 runs in the second half, and they were only on the field for just over 7 minutes. The other part about that was the fact that they only called play action 4 times.
Yeah.
And I just don't fundamentally get that when Buffalo is a bottom 10 defense against play action by any important metric. You called it more than 40% of the time in week 5, and Drake May killed the Bills with that run fake. So when you're pounding out 246 rushing yards, and you know this works against them anyway, why are you not calling more play action? It was low-hanging fruit that they just walked right by.
Buffalo flagged twice for 15 yards. Patriots are penalized 7 times for 65 yards. So there's your answer.
A lot of those penalties at really key situations, too.
Absolutely. Donovan is in Kansas. What's up, Donovan?
Hey, guys. I was just wondering, are they just playing with house money at this point? Because earlier in the season, we didn't expect this team to make it this far and do as well. And I called McCone an idiot for the 11 wins, and I kind of feel bad now. But with the lack of talent on offense, especially the wide receivers, I mean, Andrew kind of pointed to that earlier. Are they just playing with house money? Are we going to be super upset if they don't make it to the AFC Championship or San Francisco? Like, is it really that big of a deal? Like, can we just kind of be happy with what we got right now and expect the more progression throughout the next 2 years?
I would say you're playing with house money after like the 8th or 9th win, but when you get to 11 – and you've already beaten the Bills once, and you've got some decent wins under your belt. This is no longer a house money situation where I think Patriots fans as a whole are just going to throw up their hands and say, you know what, we didn't expect that. That was awesome. No, you need to capitalize on this because you've got something obviously special here in Drake May. You've got receivers playing well above themselves at times throughout this season. And you need to capitalize on it because if you don't know necessarily what's going to happen next year. The cautionary tale being the Washington Commanders. That's a team that had everything going last year, and I don't think they were thinking about house money. They were thinking about going for it and winning, and they ended up getting punched in the mouth in the conference championship, and now it's kind of fallen apart on them. No, you grab this by the horns right now and you think to yourself as a fan, I think you have to at this point in the season oh no, I'm not happy with whatever happens from here on out. No, you fix this for next week and the 2 weeks after that, and you still see if you can secure yourself a bye and go deep into the playoffs.
Even more than the circumstances of what's just the strangest season I can remember covering the league, we live in New England. This is a Boston sports team. Like most other markets, I think you're right.
They probably would.
Choose gratitude. Like house money. It's there. Take it. Enjoy it. Normally a good way to live your life. But in Boston, this is about championships. And when you had this good of a quarterback, this good of a coach, this wide open in AFC, there's no way that if they lose in the first round of the playoffs or drop, by the way, another game here in the next 3, starting what should be a tough game against Baltimore on Sunday night, you're not going to feel disappointed because the joy of this season has been tied to how good they are, and the pain of it is in the same way. Like there are stakes now. There's a ceiling. There's a possibility that we did not have at all expected in the preseason, September, even October.
You have to remember the rarity of this and getting to this point in the season, and don't treat it, as a fan or anyone else, and I'm sure they're not with the team, as like, oh, well, we already exceeded expectations, so what? It doesn't matter what happens.
Schedule gets a lot tougher next year, too. That's the other part of it.
Brutal.
Mike Reese will join us next here on Toucher and Hardy. Stay with us.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
I mean, that's all we really can do. And knowing our head coach, like, he won't let us pout too long. He gonna get us back on track, and we'll be ready to go next week.
What is this? Some man who's at sixth string last night at Patriot Place? What is this that we're listening to?
This is 38 Special live at the Lynn Auditorium, courtesy of Mike Reese.
Of course. All right, Mike Reese joins us now. He is ESPN's NFL Nation reporter covering the Patriots, and he's on with us now. Good morning, Mike.
Drew, John, how are we doing this morning?
We're doing okay. Andrew has a question for you right off the bat.
Mike, I need to know the different snack that you brought yesterday to Gillette that clearly caused the Patriots to snap their winning streak here. What happened?
It must have been the Buffalo Wing Pretzel Crisps, Andrew.
Oh, no. This is worse than Zoe saying the window's shut in the first half of a game against Josh Allen for the Bills.
Are those like really hard, crunchy, like pretzel chips that look great on the outside package, and then you open it up and it's like eating cardboard with a bunch of like salt and fake buffalo seasoning thrown on there?
So you were right on the first part, Hardy, but the second part you were a little off on because they are delicious.
No, they're not. I've had these things.
Yeah, did they taste good, Mike, yesterday when you're watching the Bills stampede the Patriots and you're snacking on buffalo chips?
I want to tell you something to throw into the mix here, and I picked some of these up as I was driving out to pick up my daughter on Friday. I stopped at like the one place you can stop between here and Amherst, where it's not an exit situation. It's like, oh no, finally a place I can just pull off a Route 2 here. And I got myself a bag of Reese's pretzel bites with Reese's peanut butter in the pretzels.
Had those. Those are good.
Not the big tub that you get at Costco or BJ's, which are like, the Hanover or Kirkland, peanut butter filled pretzels. This is Reese's quality, Reese's consistency.
Resealable bag, right?
Yes. It is.
Got the little Ziploc thing at the top.
I didn't blow through it like an animal. I still got leftovers in my truck right now.
Yeah.
But do yourself a favor. Treat yourself, Mike. Get go Reese's, okay?
I'm on it. And on those Buffalo Wing Pretzel Crisps, the hard part on those is like the residue it leaves on your fingers when you're trying to work.
Yeah.
So you got to time that out. That might be like right at halftime so you can go wash your hands.
It's like blood on your hands, Mike.
No good. All right, so what's the worst part of the loss yesterday, Mike? We were just having a debate about this, and if obviously Patriots fans not feeling good about this today, what should they feel worst about?
I feel like, well, it's the worst home loss in terms of largest deficit blown since 1978. So let's start with that. But I think the way it happened, where you couldn't control the line of scrimmage, that's where I would start, Hardy. They were able to run the ball right down your throat.
Mike, I've said that this game kind of declared before it started, and that the Bills knew the Patriots were going to bulk up and play base defense against the run. They were going to play man coverage in the back end, and that's really what you want to do against a Josh Allen team that also has the best running game in the league. Let's say they do meet again in the playoffs. Am I missing anything? Like, is there something further in the bag of tricks defensively, which was the big problem yesterday, that they could go grab to help themselves in a way that they didn't do yesterday?
So a couple things, Andrew, I would say personnel-wise, like the Robert Spillane thing was interesting to me, where he was active, went through warm-ups, and then didn't play. I mean, he's their best run-defending linebacker, in my opinion. Get Milton Williams back at defensive tackle. I think so. Personnel-wise, I think that would help. At the same time, like, I'm reluctant to pin it just on personnel, because look at the Bills. They were playing without their best corner in Christian Benford. So I actually think it comes down to just playing better fundamentally, Andrew. I felt like this was one case, and I might be off on this, where the bye might have hurt them, because I didn't think fundamentally they looked very sound, especially in the second half against the run. I went back to watch it really quickly this morning. It looked like the pad level was high, and they missed a lot of tackles, and that's not really the Patriots defense that we've seen for the better part of the year, although recently against the run, they have been sort of springing some leaks.
Isn't that kind of an overlap, though? Like I've said, you can't bring, and this is what the Patriots have to do because the roster is the roster. You can't bring Corey Durden and Joshua Farmer to a gunfight with Josh Allen.
So I think you can, but if you have alongside a Milton and Robert Spillane, like I think you'll be fine. I mean, I thought Corey Durden's given him some good snaps. I think Farmer's a young developing player, but I mean, ultimately, Andrew, like you're going to want to have Barmore, Milton Williams, and Kyrus Tonga out there for the majority of the snaps. And if you can have that the next time the Bills come around, I think it gives you a fighting chance.
The defense seems to be better at the start of drives, especially when a team is in its own end of the field, and the red zone defense has been problematic and certainly was yesterday. What's the difference? It's the opposite of what you see from most teams, where you get packed in and you've got a much smaller amount of area to cover. And going back to the old, Bill Belichick philosophy of defense, where it's like, no, this is just my area here. All I have to do is take care of this area. Those areas become smaller and smaller when you get down in the red zone, and the Patriots seem to have an issue with that. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Well, so Hardy, I think this ties to the run defense that I've sort of just mentioned a little bit there. And the stats, they were last in the league in red zone defense coming into the game, and the Bills were 5 of 5. The official stats are going to say 5 of 6. They actually give the Patriots a stop for the kneel downs at the end of the game because they came in the red zone. So put that off
we'll
to
take
the side, right?
Yeah.
So I think start with stopping the run. I mean, and one of those, I mean, a lot of it's like, so that play Josh Allen made on 3rd and 14, with the touchdown throw. I mean, to me, like that was like a rush lane issue where Harold Landry sort of gave up his edge, and it allows Josh Allen to just roll out with ease to the right side. So I think it comes back to just being a little more sound in the way you're playing and not giving an opening to the other team to make it easier for them than it needs to be.
The other part of this, Mike, is third down specifically. The Patriots had a lot of trouble getting off the field. You mentioned the touchdown pass. That was 3rd and goal from the 14.
Yep.
3rd and short was a problem. 3rd and long was a problem. There were penalties on 3rd down. There was that 4th and 2 deep shot down the field where Marcus Jones went up and came down with the ball but called for pass interference. It's kind of shocking to watch because this team has been well coached and more fundamental than not all season.
Probably comes back to, John, like the pass rush, right? Like, can you get a pass rush with just 4, the standard 4 rushers? It's been a challenge for them at times this year. When they bring extra rushers, more likely to get the pressure, but then you're compromising yourself a little bit on the back end. So probably need a little more out of the 4-man rush. And that comes back to the Milton Williams thing that I was talking about. That will help, but I think it's going to take more than just that.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that point I made, Mike, because you're right. I mean, you can't play with Corey Durden and Joshua Farmer. It's not that they're not NFL players. I just think some of the fundamental breakdowns, the pad level, comes down to players that are a little bit more inexperienced and thus inconsistent and just not as good as Milton Williams. Flipping to the other side, I'm going to take a dangerous walk here with me. Mike, will you come along?
Absolutely, Andrew. You're a dangerous guy.
This ought to be good.
Drake May did not have a good second half. That's a fact. I would say he did not have a good game overall. And of their last 5 by CPOA, completion percentage over expected. It's a metric that accounts for the difficulty of throws, the distance, location of defenders. It's not just completion percentage. He's had a inaccurate game in 3 of the last 5 weeks. 2 are very close. The Bengals game was bad. Is there anything you're seeing with May, who even a small regression from a historically accurate MVP caliber season would be totally understandable and excusable, but is there anything you're seeing there that when you're looking at the last 3 weeks, you go, maybe what we've seen lately is more of what we should expect from this kid who obviously is way, way ahead of schedule?
Yeah, so I thought specific to yesterday, Andrew, they had 1 running play in the 3rd quarter. The game turned in the 3rd quarter, and they obviously tried to run it on the first play after of the 3rd quarter. Is a -1 yard, right? So you got to that's not good. But then on the second drive, it was all passes. I just think balancing it out would help him, and that I know that's a very general answer. He was not as accurate as we are used to seeing. I mean, even like one of the completions to Mac Hollins there, Mac Hollins had to like reach out and grab it. I think one thing I want to look at, and I know you'll do the same thing, is what was Buffalo doing coverage-wise to clamp down on the receivers yesterday? Because it didn't seem like Drake was as decisive in the second half with where he was going with the ball.
Is there any chance, do you think, that maybe he took a hit that was affecting him and maybe it caused him to be a little gun shy because it was some of the decisiveness, it was just some of the movement. He looked different. I'm wondering if he was physically altered in any way.
Yeah. It's possible, Hardy. The reason why I would probably hesitate is like watching him sprint down the field on Travion Henderson's long touchdown run. He looked pretty good to me there. And so that, and also knowing the way the Bills play defense and how they change the picture after the snap and sort of make you see one thing and then it changes after the snap, I'd probably lean more towards the visual, how he was seeing things and reading things more than something physical.
How much did the second half change your expectations for this team moving forward?
So John, a little bit, but not major, because I sort of was going back and forth. I mean, the defense in the second half was a major disappointment to me. And then at the same time, they do get a stop at the end of the game. And if you were going to tell me going in that the Patriots had the ball with 2:30 left with a chance to go drive down and win the game, I'd say, well, that sounds about right, for what I thought the game was going to be in the end. So I've sort of gone back and forth, but I just, John, the reason my expectation maybe is a little lower today than it was going in is I think the run defense, which they've been sort of, to me, flirting with trouble the last 3-4 weeks, I thought it really, really showed up in this game. And if you can't stop the run and control the line of scrimmage, that's a hard way to live in the NFL.
Mike, I know when I go to your Twitter tomorrow and you got all your film notes, which ESPN, by the way, should find a spot on their website for. They're delightful. They're insightful. You cover everything. There's going to be a lot on special teams there. So they allowed long kick returns. What was the most disappointing part of this, and are you concerned about it moving forward?
So, well, one thing that struck me, Andrew, I don't know if you saw this, the Bills use an offensive lineman as one of their sort of point of attack blockers on kickoff return.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what you're going to see tomorrow. This is great. I did not notice that. I'll be honest. It's my job. I should have, and I did not.
Wow. Oh, my God. I don't think I've seen that. Can you imagine being a player and seeing a 320-pound offensive tackle coming right at you? And that was at Christian Ellis on the 58-yarder at the start of the third quarter there. And I actually heard Mike Rabel talk about it this morning because I was curious what he would say about it. And basically, you gotta, when they clamp down on you, you have to disengage and be physical. And if they're holding, and inevitably there's going to be some holding that's either called or not called, you have to do enough to show the official the restriction.
Yeah.
And I think they just needed to take the next step, right? And they let the Bills, Andrew, take that part of the game to them. And I think there's a mentality aspect of that as well.
All right. Mike, we appreciate the time as always. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, Hardy.
Thanks,
Let's get back on that snack game. Good grief.
Buffalo chips.
Buffalo pretzel chips. Ugh.
Jinxed from the start.
More of your calls coming up here. We got Tim and Don on the line right now, but you can join us 617-779-0985 here on Toucher and Hardy.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots had their 10-game winning streak snapped yesterday.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, I don't know if I deserve that buddy from you anymore.
Why?
I thought you deserted me, Hardy.
Well, look, you know how Fred is, and we don't take a ton of calls here normally.
Listen.
And he doesn't have the siren bat signal go off when he sees Don and Carver on the screen. He doesn't know what that means. I know what it means.
No. Callahan probably doesn't know what the hell we're talking about. And John never fails to condescend toward me if and when my calls get through.
Yes, he's like that. He's like that with a lot of people, but especially with you. I've noticed it too, Don. Go ahead.
No, I love him. I love John. I really do.
No.
In a tit-for-tat game where the quarterbacks hold the cards, okay, and you got 2 minutes to go in the game, and you got a chance to win the game by going down the field. And maybe psychologically, I'm still thinking, dang, that other guy we had would have taken over this game and we would have won. And that other guy was Tom Brady. So as a leading tub thumper all year for Drake May, I gotta hold myself back from thinking that this could be a problem.
First time
and that's about it. Nice to talk to you guys.
Okay, Don. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Care. Take care.
Yeah, you too. First time I've heard the phrase tub thumping used outside of the song by Chumbawamba. Yeah. I didn't know that tub thumper or tub thumping was a thing outside of the song. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
You get up again. Yeah.
Yeah. Never going to get me down.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Yeah.
So that was a question. Could Drake May, orchestrate a game-winning, come-from-behind drive in the final 2 minutes of a game?
Yes, we've seen him do it before against this very team before. Granted, it was October. It wasn't to win the division title. But the fact of the matter is he only had to do that because the Patriots defense gave up 28 points in that second half, which we can hold in one hand, a bad defense, and Drake May playing poorly in the second half in the other. They coincide. We don't have to pick one. They both happened. That said, the larger point that Don made, which, by the way, his voice sounds like he has at least 8 grandchildren. That is a loving older man who it's just a soothing sound.
Careful,
voice.
careful. If you're wrong, you get on his bad side.
Sorry, Don.
He's a delight.
Very gentle voice.
He did threaten to meet up with Fred in an alley.
Oh,
he said he would kick his ass.
Yeah,
that's true. That's not dad's strength. That's granddad's strength.
Yeah.
Now, the blessing and curse of being Drake May is you are wonderfully gifted, incredible, already top 10, maybe top 5 quarterback in the league. At 23, you lead the Patriots. You're beloved in Boston, but everything you do, subtly and unsaid, is going to be contrasted against a guy who came before you, which in this case is Tom Brady. And we've had 2 quarterbacks with a couple of backups thrown in between them. But that is the shadow that casts literally over Gillette Stadium now that the statue is outside. And so part of the beauty of the season is you've conjured the old magic through an old player, Mike Vrabel, who's your head coach, and you're winning through the edges and smart defense sometimes, the special teams the other time. But when the quarterback falls short, you're going to forget about Mike Vrabel. We're just going to think about Drake May, and then the next thought is Tom Brady. I don't think that's gotten to him yet, but that is something that if this keeps coming up, he's just going to be inescapable for him amid all of the other pressure. And that is the part that, long-term is something that I kind of got my eye on. I don't think it bothers him now. He's riding high. He's in a great place. But games like that, we're going to start to talk more about it because, as Don said, who's not going to think of the last great quarterback that was here and everything he did, especially in those situations?
And for Drake, he's done a lot with what he has to work with so far. But when you're talking about comparisons to Brady, he had Welker, he had Moss, he had Gronkowski, he had Edelman, he had...
Well, not early. Like the legend of Tom Brady when he was Drake May's point in this career, which Drake May I think is still younger than Tom Brady was when he made his debut in a mop-up duty in Thanksgiving in Detroit. Like he made more with less, but not to the way that we remember it initially, which is the other part of the issue. Tom Brady was as great as there's ever been at the position. But as more time passes, our memories are only going to draw on those great moments as opposed to the 10-year gap between Super Bowls in the middle where some people thought his career was ending.
So, John, you can do this off the top of your head. Who are the Kayshon Boutte? Who's the Kayshon Boutte comp from 01?
Oh, Jesus. David Patton, maybe?
Okay. Yeah. So that's a fair enough point. Defensively, though, you're dealt a much different hand on those teams.
Yeah.
So you weren't required to do as much. The comparisons to Brady are going to happen. You're just going to have to.
They're not fair.
They're going to have to.
But it's going to happen.
You're going to have to deal with it. Speaking of receivers, by the way, I was watching the game yesterday, and when Diggs made his first reception of the game in the second quarter, I thought, oh yeah, he had a big game against Buffalo this first time around. Yeah, why not get Diggs involved a little bit more here?
This is something that Paul Perillo brought up on the pregame show. Stefon Diggs has played the role of good soldier and leader, but everywhere Diggs has gone, it's always good at the beginning. He only caught 3 passes yesterday in a game the Patriots lost. He's always mouthed off when he's not more part of the offense in losses. I'm wondering if something like this, coupled with, say, another loss before the end of the regular season, kind of turns him a little bit. It's hard to look at Diggs and his career and not think about things like this because he wasn't a big part of the offense yesterday and they lost. And historically, when that happens, Diggs tends to go to the dark side.
Totally fair to wonder that. I'm not there yet because he's been just such a, I don't know, like what do you call the kids who would be like hall monitors? Like that's been him.
Wallets.
But yeah, like hall monitors. Okay, yeah. But like in a way that gets along with the teachers and the coaching staff love him and gets along with the fellow students, where even if Stefon Diggs is like writing you up in your pop dog list, you're like, you're right. Don't worry about that. He's been so good. But the thing to me that gets me is Buffalo played a lot of man coverage. And I talked to a Patriots veteran in the locker room on Friday, kind of feeling out the game. What are you expecting? And he told me, I think Buffalo's going to blitz more. That was true. I said, okay, well, if they blitz, they're going to play man. He goes, that's when we go to Steph, who killed them in week 5 when they played man coverage. And the only 3 catches against a game plan like that was disappointing. One was off play action. The other one converted a 3rd and 4 there, I think, in the 4th quarter. You just needed more there. And part of it surely is Diggs not getting tons of separation. But the Bills were down their best corner, Christian Benford. So I think this is a failure of play calling and the player not to feed him more, knowing they were just going to play you straight up. In that case, you go to your best receiver.
All right, we're going to keep talking Patriots with you all morning here, but we will go around the NFL with some big developing stories after yesterday's games, and we'll do that next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Toucher and
Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Buffalo Bills scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives. They came back from down 21-0 and beat the Patriots in Foxborough yesterday 35-31. Travion Henderson ran for 148 yards and 2 scores to lead the Patriots offense for the day, but Drake May's team blew a great chance to clinch the division title.
Move on to the next week and learn from it. Take what we can and know that we got some football ahead of us that is important, still very important. And don't just hang our hat and keep your head up and know that we had a chance and we're there. Just they made more plays and credit to them.
Josh Allen threw 3 touchdown passes and James Cook added a pair of TD runs of his own, and that includes an 11-yarder with 6:48 left to put the visitors in front for good. Patriots' 10-game winning streak is now over. They're 11-3. They're in Baltimore on Sunday night. Ravens are 7-7. They shut out Cincinnati yesterday 24-0. Elsewhere, Patrick Mahomes tore his left ACL near the end of a 16-13 Kansas City home loss. They played the Chargers yesterday. Chiefs now out of playoff contention. And Green Bay lost Micah Parsons to an apparent torn ACL of his own. They lost in Denver 34-26. Minnesota Wild got 2 goals and an assist from Kirill Kaprizov. They also got a goal from Quinn Hughes in his first game with his new team. They beat the Bruins 6-2. Bruins off tonight. They play Utah at TD Garden tomorrow night. And the Celtics are at home tonight to play Detroit. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Sylvan Street Grill in Peabody and Salisbury. Sylvan Street Grill gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. Stop by Peabody or Salisbury to purchase or buy online at sylvanstreetgrill.com. Eat, drink, and chill at the Sylvan Street Grill. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
The Bruins play here.
Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports.
Another gift card to Patriot Place. How about that? So coming up here in just a few short minutes, $100 gift card to Patriot Place. All right? And then 12, you know you'll have to remind me to give it away at the end of the segment. You know
I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Because I will not take care of you. I will forget. I am scatterbrained. I want to talk to Lionel here about the Patriots and their loss yesterday to the Bills. Go ahead, Lionel.
How you doing? So it was a terrible loss. We should have never let them come back from 21-0. But my thing was, what do you guys think about the coming off a bye week, the Patriots record coming off the bye week?
Well, I asked Andrew this, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
More so not the Patriots. I don't care historically what the Patriots do after the bye week. I asked you, Andrew,
right.
What does Mike Vrabel do after the bye week? Again, smaller sample size, but, give me something. And what did you tell me, Andrew?
I said I put stock into it. He's 6-0. You got to give me 4 or 5 games as a coach to really care about the bye week. It depends on who you play, when the season is, who's your quarterback, how healthy you are, blah, 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 blah. We all know what those variables were in Tennessee, and he was undefeated. And at halftime of this game, you're going, man, he's going to be 7-0. This is wild.
This is the man after the bye week Vrabel. I mean, he's got it all figured out. So he bucked the trend last night, as did the rest of the team in the second half. I don't know what else to tell you, Lionel. But do you think there's something more to it? Do you think that they looked rusty somehow, that only came to fruition in the second half?
I don't know what happened. The defense just let up. I don't know. First half they was doing well, and then
I tell you one thing: they got gassed. They got gassed in the second half. You keep them out there for, even if it's only a 7-8 play drive, but you keep them out there for 7 minutes, and at that point, the Bills had scored, I believe, their second or third touchdown of the half, and Travion Henderson. Thank you very much for the long touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage after the ensuing kickoff. But the defense has no time to regather, to reset, to regroup, to even catch their breath. And they're back out there on the field, and guess what happens? They give up another touchdown.
Yeah, go down at the 2, Travion.
Yeah.
We don't want you in the end zone.
But it's just bad circumstances for a defense, I think, that was already gassed and was already trying to wrap their heads around what was happening. Oh, We got to go back out there. Yeah, you've got the lead now. We had the lead before. That didn't help us. That's pressure. Don't tell us that.
There were so many small breakdowns, too, which you hear this from coaches and players after every game, and it could be Sunday or it could be Monday after they watch the film, and it'd be like, oh, if we had just done simple things. That's every loss ever. I don't put a lot of stock into that explanation because I just can bank on it no matter what happened on Sunday when I'm asking the question Monday and Tuesday. I will say this. In real time, I'm tweeting things like, there's this long completion down the middle that I think Dalton Kincaid. Marte Mapu is supposed to be running the middle. It's cover 2. They run a route to beat cover 2, and Marte Mapu just has to drop deeper, and he doesn't. And I'm like, that's a small fundamental breakdown. The Harold Landry play that we referenced, or Mike Reese referenced, we were just chatting with him. They had a miscommunication. Landry tells us after the game about how they wanted to rush Josh Allen when he throws that touchdown from 14-yard line on 3rd and goal. There are basic things, the missed tackles, pad level. Like, I would expect it to be better coming off of the bye when you have an extra practice and you understand, as I've said now a few times, this game is only going to go a couple of different ways. You knew what Buffalo wanted to do. You knew what your calls were going to be. Who just did it better? And clearly you didn't. So I don't know if that was the bye or water kind of finding its level based on the talent level.
Younger players that all of a sudden realized what kind of a game they were in and they were facing the league MVP.
Or sometimes guys try to make a play. Like you feel yourself kind of bleeding out here defensively. And then you overcompensate and take a risk. And I can't say that happened every single drive. They gave up 5 freaking straight touchdowns. But I'm sure it happened at some point. And around that, I know there were things going, man, this is like not day one stuff, but week one stuff. Get a deeper drop. That's the route they're trying to go to. You can see it. He's going right by you, Marte. Like, get a little deeper.
Right. Let's go to Billy here. Go ahead, Billy. You're on with Andrew Callahan and me and Wallach. What's up?
Callahan, I knew you were going to be on today, so I neglected my 2 sick kids to crunch these numbers. All right.
Well, how sick are they, really?
Now I feel bad.
I mean, are we talking about colds? They have the sniffles? What?
RSV. I have a 10-month-old with RSV, and I have a 2.5-year-old with the flu.
That's no
so
joke.
I neglected them to crunch these numbers because I had a feeling.
No, hang up now and go be with
No, this is a good call.
All right. Yeah, I'm outside of Walgreens. Okay? I'm trying to get away from them. But
what color are your shoes? Sorry, go ahead.
White right now.
Okay.
But anyways, the Patriots have scored 210 points in the first half this year, 141 in the second half. They're not a second half team. They've only scored 60 total points in the fourth quarter. So they're scoring, basically in the first half and dying down in the second half. Why is that? That's one. And 2, field judge 90, line judge 90 yesterday, Anthony Fleming, was horrendous. All right? That was a pass interference on Mac Hollins in the first half. Or I think it was the first half or second half. And then he was responsible for the PIs yesterday. Every single PI was Anthony Fleming. He was horrendous. But that's it.
Okay.
And Ben Volen's a dingus.
Okay.
Good luck to your kids and battling the RSV.
Everybody
and
feel
the flu.
better.
That call had everything. Geography, shots at reporters.
Your
stats.
opinion on the back judge.
Okay, so let's take them in order. Number one, the lack of scoring in the second half and specifically in the fourth quarter. If you're playing with the lead, as the Patriots have been for many of these games, you don't necessarily have to go crazy. Sometimes you're just killing clock. Sometimes you're just taking it easy and let's not do anything dumb here that's going to force us to cough up the football and allow these guys back in.
Yes, that is a big part of it. It's not an excuse. It is the circumstances within which they play. It's context. Okay, when you're up big on the Browns, you're looking to kill clock, not necessarily score points. They have kneeled the ball out, I think it was in Tennessee, on the doorstep of the end zone, and they just said, "Why? We don't need this. Let's just kneel the clock out." That obviously was not the case yesterday. And I've said before, and John talked about it, McDaniels had these scripted calls, some quarterback design runs in the red zone, some trick plays to loosen up Buffalo, and eventually you run out of those, and you got to play straight up football. And when you're having basic mistakes or inaccurate throws or missed blocks and pass protection, that's what's going to happen. Again, I do think there's an element here with the talent that the Patriots have, which is good enough to make a run. We're not talking about them as Super Bowl contenders unless there's enough talent here to make that happen. But they're not top 5 most talented. They're not top 8 most talented team in the league. They might not even be top 10. So eventually over time, when you have your scripted plays and that gives you a boost, water finds its level again talent-wise against good teams. Like you've seen this now against Buffalo, and you go back to Tampa, and Pittsburgh's the only team that as of yesterday they played that's in the playoff picture. So that to me is another part of this. But I think when you have a 10-game win streak and you're playing a bunch of bad teams, you're not trying to score in the second half. That's the bigger piece. Yesterday was just you had the ball for 7 minutes, and when you have the ball for that little and you're not playing well, you're not going to score points.
Jake, who is in Foxborough. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, guys. So I want to preface this comment by saying that I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a fan of a normal team, that has really bad seasons and then some really good seasons. So I think it's kind of funny when you look at the Patriots and take the name Patriots out of what this team has happened when fans call in and talk about, I'm so disappointed. We really should win this game. This team is overachieving what it should have done when people thought it was going to do at the beginning of the year. And if you took the name and the expectation of Patriots fans who have never seen bad seasons with the exceptions of the last couple of years after Tom Brady, this team was supposed to be maybe just over 500 and they have 11 wins. And now you just lost to the MVP of the league and everybody's up in arms. Oh my gosh, we just lost a game. Like, if you were any other normal team fan base, you would be like, all right, yeah, lost a hard game. Okay, next one, still feel really great about everything that's happening here. And it's just because it's, the Patriots and the Patriots fandom that's used to, waking up in the morning and having excellence every single year because that's what they were used to, that some of these conversations are being had. And I just think it's some of the funniest conversations on the radio of like, hey, if you were just a normal team,
right,
everybody'd still be pretty psyched.
Okay, so all right, Jake, it's not that funny. There's an element of like, okay, we expect this around here, and Andrew, you said it earlier. It's Boston, you expect championships, and that's kind of what it's about. But if people want to be upset about any team in any circumstance in any season being up 21-0. And having the lead like they did at halftime and then losing it all in the second half, yes, if you're not upset about that on some level, then I question your overall sports fandom, not your team fandom. I mean, you're up 21-0 against a team that you were home dogs to. You're getting 1.5 points from these guys, and you go out there and just put the hammer down in that first quarter and a half, and you assert yourself, and you start thinking about first-round buys. You start thinking about AFC Championship. Holy crap, that this team really is not just a good team having a better-than-expected season. This team all of a sudden does look like one of the best teams in the NFL. And to have that turn on you within the same game, if that doesn't upset you as a sports fan, it doesn't matter if you're used to winning as a Patriots fan. That's upsetting. And so I think it's okay to be upset by that.
The biggest lead they've blown at home since 1978.
Right. This isn't just in comparison to the Tom Brady Patriots.
That's 120 games. That's 120 games since they've blown a lead like that.
With the division title at stake, coming off a bye. Look, I think the point he makes is a fair one. In this case, though, if you don't understand, it's Hardy, you've illustrated really well, why people are pissed and why this one hurts more than any loss, frankly, in recent memory, even through all of the are you effing kidding me losses that we've watched the last 2 to 3 years. I'm sorry I can't help you. To the larger point, like, look, we take, speaking as a resident of Boston in New England, our professional sports teams as personally as any person in Alabama or Mississippi or Oklahoma or Texas take their college teams. When we say we actually think it's we. We are more offended when you insult our football teams than you would be if you told a yo mama joke. So when they lose and they fail, it feels like our failures. And when someone else points it out, a fan of a normal football team, as if there's any normal fan base out there, we're all lunatics on our own terms and with our own teams. It hurts, and that's why people are pissed. They're hurt. They're mad. They're sad. Obviously, things are going to move, and we're all going to move on. But look, this was not good by any measure across the board.
No, and I keep thinking back to the Commanders year and the year they had last year and whether or not those Commanders fans were thinking along the same lines, like, this is great. We didn't expect Jaden Daniels to be this good this early. And, oh, my God, you beat the Lions and you just absolutely pummel them in the divisional round. Were they thinking, whatever happens after this, it really doesn't matter. We shouldn't even be here in the first place. No, I'm sure they were upset. And now I think they've been validated, anybody who was a fan of that team last year, to see what happened if they were upset after that loss, because what's happened to them this year? These things are fleeting, and again, going back to what you're used to with the Patriots, or what you got used to with the Kansas City Chiefs, or what maybe fans are getting used to in Buffalo now with this consistent winning season after season. That is the exception. It's not the rule. Teams generally don't hold on to, these types of records and continue on for a decade's worth. You got to grab it while it's happening. And if you see it, if you let go of the rope at any point and it slips away from you like that game did yesterday, yes, be upset. It's okay. Your season's not over. And I happen to think that you were going to lose that game anyway, and you got beat by a better team yesterday. But to say you shouldn't be upset by it is stupid.
Yeah, it's all fleeting. Can we play a quick guessing game?
I thought you wanted to tell a quick Yo Mama joke.
No, there was a little haughtiness when Jake was talking about being a normal team. I have good teams. I have bad seasons. I've got the perspective. But he never revealed the team. And I'm thinking, not an Eagles fan, because they would tell you their franchise is not normal.
Right.
Cowboys, not normal. You go down the list. I think it's got to be a team that's won at least a couple of championships. It's very secure.
Giants.
Talking down to teams and fans that have won a lot of championships.
Giants.
You think Giants are a normal franchise? Packers came to my mind.
Okay, but he didn't say across the board normal. He's saying like some good seasons, some bad seasons.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's
Because
I'm thinking Pittsburgh.
A Giants fan is depressed.
Yes.
He did not sound
very,
like a
very
depressed person.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're
Pittsburgh,
always
yeah.
kind of
Giants.
good. You got a lot of championships in the past.
Yeah.
That's a good call on that one, too. Okay. Now, Brian wants to quickly respond to that last call. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we went into the game. We knew it was going to be, a close game, probably going to end up on the losing end of it. But when you're up the way you are at halftime, and when do you ever see a team just drive down 5 straight times and score a touchdown? That's what we're pissed off about. We're not pissed off about a simple loss. We're pissed off that we had a division rival in the bag and then just completely lost, all momentum, and that's what we're pissed off about.
Yeah, the way you lost is a big part of it. You walk in, on Friday and say, hey, spoiler alert, I've looked into the crystal ball. You're going to lose 35-31 to the Bills on Sunday. People be like, okay, well, I could kind of see that coming. Would they play him tough? Oh, they played him tough, and they actually made a push at the end, but they fell a little short. If I were to say, oh, no, you had this game won. All you had to do was get a stop. Remember the Super Bowl against the Eagles, where all you had to do was get one stop, and you would have won another Super Bowl? It's going to be that type of a feeling. Oh, that doesn't feel good at all.
No.
Would you be upset? Yeah.
Kind of.
There's where we are. Caller 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Gets a $100 gift card to Patriot Place. Shop, dine, and celebrate the season at Patriot Place. From gifting, dining, outdoor skating, and more. Download the Advantage app today and plan your visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy the holidays. Caller 10 contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll go around the NFL next.
a big, beautiful ball of flavor.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
Hit somebody.
All right, it is Around the NFL, which is brought to you by Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. Give your home the gift of a new Lennox heating system and save up to $4,400 in rebates and tax credits. Schedule right online at joycecool.com. Happy holidays from Joyce. Did you get a chance to watch a lot of other games yesterday, Andrew? Or are you busy?
No, it's a little busy. Caught Vikings Cowboys. Put it on the background doing.
Yeah, we're not talking about that one. Try again.
Okay. Did something happen in Kansas City?
Something did happen in Kansas City. Thank you for leading us right to the Wolves or the Lambs or something.
Herbert, play action. Got to get rid of it. Throws to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Keandre Lambert-Smith. My goodness. From inactive week after week to a hero with 5 seconds left in the half.
I saw the odds on an anytime touchdown by this guy. It's like plus 5,000, some incredible number, 2,500, whatever it was.
Somebody cashed.
Yeah.
Some big hits and some injuries in this game. We'll start with one of the big hits here.
Here's the play one more time. Thornton up the seam, the hit to the head or neck area. Jefferson helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet. And then the aftermath.
Rashee Rice finds his way back, and they had to be separated once again.
Well, the good news is Thornton is off the field.
2023 has been disqualified from the football game.
Jefferson from the Chargers ejected after that. You know, you watch it in real time, and it's brutal. It's it's a bang bang play, and as a defender, that's your job. You know, the ball's in the receiver's hands, you tackle him. I don't know how these guys do it. I don't know how they manage to find themselves in these positions and are expected to not lead with the helmet sometimes. I mean, your body is oftentimes led by your head when you're going places. They're put in a very, very difficult position.
That's why I just stop at, like, we talked about Hunter Henry had a drop, and it's not the same situation. But it's his job. He's a 10-year veteran. He's got to catch that ball. But in no other circumstance or no other way could I put, why didn't you do better when someone came to literally take your head off?
Yeah.
Like, there's no one saying that, typing that, like, on the radio or at home that is being honest with themselves if they think, I would have done better in that situation.
Well, seriously, and you dissect it and you slow it down. It's like, here's where you see the defender lowers his helmet and he makes contact with the head. It's like, this is happening so fast.
Yes.
This is happening in the moment. You're going to tackle the guy with the football, and to be ejected over that, I know they're doing it to keep the head injuries down. I know they're doing it, to make a point. But I feel for defensive players and when they're put in these positions. Like, what? I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I'm out there doing my job. I didn't intentionally try and go after his head. I'm trying to make a tackle.
Right.
So this was not the key injury of the game, though.
Mahomes off play action. Moving to the right. He'll throw it late. A flag thrown on the play, and it's incomplete. Mahomes is hurt. Mahomes is grabbing his leg. He's hurt. Mahomes taking a shot at the end of that play and is grabbing his leg on his backside, but he's in a lot of pain as we view it through our binoculars.
Immediately put his hands behind his left knee, got buckled into this hard turf.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a shot. It got wrapped up a little bit, and it didn't look that bad in the moment. But, John?
Torn ACL.
That's it.
Out for this season, probably a lot of next season, too. And that is it. Kansas City eliminated from the playoffs. They're 6-8. And very sad to see Travis Kelce walk off the field in utter disdain. He was very upset afterwards. Very sad.
Why are you going to do that to Travis Kelce today? Come on.
Because I think he's a douche.
Okay.
Playing the role of Fred Toucher here.
Fred and I are aligned on this one.
That's what Travis Kelce has to say to you.
You kidding me?
Come on, man.
Make a little love.
Yeah.
Don't nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I.
Yeah, clearly.
What's good?
I'm clear. Not a lot.
What's wrong? And you got a problem with that guy? All right.
Very
World
sad.
War I scholar, Travis Kelce.
Very sad.
Yeah, real hater over there. All right, so that's it for the Chiefs. And this is the first time since 1998 that either Mahomes or Manning or Brady are not in the postseason.
That's correct. It's been a very, very long time. I'm wondering, as you being the football historian you are, Andrew Callahan, I've watched Tom Brady throughout the breadth of his entire career. He never had a season like this. He tore up his knee same year, ninth season, but he was never under 500 this late into the season. Does this year for Patrick Mahomes take him down a peg as far as the Brady comparison is concerned?
Not to me, but I think if you're putting them on equal footing anyway, like you're making a mistake. Just because Mahomes' career is half over, Brady's is the best we've ever seen. I don't think Mahomes is going to get to 7, but I've often said I think this conversation will resolve or not in the way that we had the MJ-LeBron conversation. We're like, LeBron's never going to match MJ's rings, but you've got a real statistical case for him as the best player ever. I think where Mahomes is going, including what is clearly kind of a black mark on his resume this year. Granted, not a lot of this is his fault, but is something that you're going to hold against him. But he's got still the second half of his career to go.
All right, big NFC matchup between the Lions and Rams yesterday. Lions looking good early.
There's the snap. Jared back. Jared looking, throwing right side. One. J-Mo end zone. Got him. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, what a dime from 16. 31 yards on the connection. Kobe Durant in coverage, but J-Mo blew right by him.
Rams, of course, not a bad football team by any means. And as always, the referees are there to help whoever is playing the Lions.
Stafford throws right side. It is caught at the front right pylon. Colby Parkinson, a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games. Colby celebrates the go-ahead score. That was a dime.
Now, in real time, it looks like he caught the ball and he landed in the end zone. He laid out for it. Upon review, when they go to the replay, Parkinson, his knee is down and the ball is short of the goal line. Furthermore, as you slow it down, he's bobbling the football. He doesn't have control of it. So, not only, worst case scenario, they're going to mark him down at the 1. Best case scenario, if you're a Lions fan, hypothetically, they're going to rule this an incomplete pass. All right? All right, here comes the explanation of what was actually ruled on the field.
Well, look, he has control. He's touched. The knee is down. Unless they're saying he lost control and regained it in the end zone, but you can't see the ball.
And that's exactly what they ruled. He caught the ball. He was down, lost control of the ball. This is all in thousandths of a second. Lost control, but then regained control in the end zone, so it's still a touchdown.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I understand.
By the way, it was not a touchdown.
That's fine.
It was not a touchdown because A, wasn't in, and B, if you catch the ball and then lose control of the ball and then regain control a second later, you know what you call that?
An incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass.
I understand that, and you have plenty of reason to be upset for many years past and the referees not ruling in your favor. But weren't the Lions already down 7 at that point? And even if it's an incomplete pass, don't the Rams kick a field goal and you're still down 2 scores?
No.
You didn't make it up. That would have made it 41-20. That touchdown made it 41-27, right?
No, that made it 27-24, I believe.
I thought it was. I thought the Parkinson touchdown there was in fourth quarter.
Either way, Wallach, the Lions are blocking the field goal, so it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, that's on me.
That may have been fourth quarter, John. I think you're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It was a call that went against you, but I don't think it decided the game.
Nuts and bolts, we got screwed.
Okay.
I'm used to it. Okay. I'm used to it. Another injury in this game.
Devontae pulls up. Oh, no, it's incomplete. And Devontae is hurt. Devontae is down at the 33-yard line of the Lions. And this looks to be non-contact, Maurice. Devontae is walking off under his own power. And we will step aside and come back with more.
Is he dealing with a hamstring this season?
I don't remember that. I don't remember if he had dealt with a hamstring before.
Well,
he's old enough. He's probably got something wrong back there.
McVay, what's wrong?
We'll see. He was optimistic talking to him. He knows his body really well. They had an East and West double. He split it and then, just kind of came up where he felt it. So we'll see what that means. I can't imagine that's good for Thursday with just the short amount of time, but I certainly wouldn't rule him out quite yet, but it didn't look good.
So Devontae Adams is an old receiver.
Yeah.
But I think this is a great day and time to remember. Mahomes torn ACL. Micah Parsons probably torn ACL. Devontae Adams, great receiver for a great team, maybe the best team in the league, goes down. The NFL owners want an 18th regular season game. This is what you're going to see.
Yeah.
The deeper we go into the year playing real football, and you can add a second bye week. That's probably what will happen, and that's another week of TV and commercials and stuff to sell. It's just irresponsible. We cannot, there's no facade anymore about what that will be about. Not the good of league, not the good of football, not the good of the players. You're just getting a watered down product the further you stretch it out. And it's a bummer because all those teams, minus Kansas City, are going to go to the playoffs or play a central role in the league. Now they might not play. In Parsons' case, they definitely won't.
Yeah, especially with like you said, with the older players and the guys that you want on your team. You want to bring in, and this is fun when you're building your team, and this is something that's been going on forever. You get your good young talented rookies and guys who are on the come, and then you get some veterans in there to help them. It's the veterans who are going to suffer in this extended season. It's the guys whose bodies have seen more mileage and they get banged up during the season, and then by the time you get to weeks 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, when you build in the extra bye week, they're not going to be around. They're not going to be available to you, and it changes the whole composure and complexion of your team.
Can I ask you, as a Lions fan, a question about the bare-chested Ben Johnson? Because I just looked up the Lions schedule, and they go to Chicago for the regular season finale. And I don't know all the scenarios right now, but I would assume there's a chance that game is make or break for their playoff hopes.
Sure.
And it's your old OC, who is not holding back on anyone, but especially the Packers.
Yeah.
Like him? Dislike him? You cool? You okay? Neutral? Where are we at with Ben Johnson?
Oh, with Ben Johnson?
Yeah.
He's got himself a head coaching job offer with the Bears. Yeah, you got to take it. It's fine. Now, do I like him taking his shirt off in the locker room and behaving like a jackass?
Do you feel much worse about him? Obviously, you don't like him as much that he's coaching a division rival, but now that they can take your stuff, block your path, send you home, here's your ticket to Mexico. Go enjoy Cancun for January.
I don't hate him yet.
It's coming.
I might hate him.
A couple of weeks from now.
I might hate him.
Yeah.
But I don't begrudge him taking that job, no. All right, we'll take a look at some more games from yesterday as we continue to go around the NFL coming up next year on Toucher and Hardy.
thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
All right, what? Yeah, thanks, 12. Listen at the end of this segment for a chance to win a 4-pack of passes to Neshoba Valley Ski Area. Giveaways are coming fast and furious here this morning. Again, 4-pack of passes to Neshoba Valley coming up at the end of this segment here on Toucher and Hardy with Andrew Callahan. As we continue to go around the NFL, we just talked about Patrick Mahomes and the injury to the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. Ed in Rhode Island has something on that. Go ahead, Ed.
Yes, the way I look at it is the Patriots, they did the best that they could. And what happened was I woke up real early this morning. I turned on ESPN, and I saw the picture of Mahomes stretched out on the field with the Achilles. I don't want to wish ill will upon anyone, but for anybody out there who has tried to compare this guy with Tom Brady is mistaken.
Because he got hurt?
What's that?
Why does this come up now? You're mistaken to compare Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady because Mahomes got hurt? I don't understand.
No. I mean that he was going to win all these Super Bowls and he was going to be on the same par as Tom Brady.
Okay. Well, he still might, and Brady missed a season with an injury, and he managed to come back and do pretty well. But I don't know what one has to do with the other, particularly on this day.
I like the opening point, not because it's particularly insightful. I just think we forget Patriots tried their best.
Yeah,
it's not going to fly.
I'm glad he got out in front with that. In terms of the Patriots' loss yesterday, they tried their best.
Sometimes we forget. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go back to that guy who called earlier, who's not a fan of the Patriots, and said, "Don't be upset. Come on.
Yeah.
You're playing with house money. You're not even supposed to be this good this year."
Jake, the Steelers fan, maybe he was right. No, he wasn't.
Let's talk a little bit about that Packers-Broncos game yesterday in Denver. Woo. Once again, the one team we all agree, no problem facing them in the playoffs. I don't care about Denver. They're not that good. And the Packers, at least early on, were feeling the same way.
Jacobs, no one near him, taken off. Jacobs to the end zone for his longest touchdown run of the season.
How does that happen against a defense as good as the Denver Broncos? How do you get up 23-14 on the Denver Broncos? Ugh. There was another injury in this game as well.
And Micah Parsons is down. He was chasing the quarterback. This is becoming an absolute battle of attrition now. Parsons battling McGlinchey, beat him as he came across, and then just pulled up. Left knee, Micah Parsons. Oh, my goodness.
Parsons' injury, a non-contact injury.
The worst kind to see. You just know, as with the non-contact knees, you're thinking, all right, well, that's it.
So Mahomes, John, you said he'd miss most of next season. I think there's a chance he's ready for the opener.
Okay.
And that's based on a Patriots example. Very different player. Injuries are different. But Wes Welker came back after hurting it first week of January 2009, played in the opener. Mahomes is a much less physically demanding position than Parsons does. This is just crushing for the Packers, because even when he does come back, it's not going to be the same burst. And let's say that 12 months from now, he'll need a month to shake off rust. That is going to be January. And then if they even continue to play, is the Super Bowl next year, where you sign this guy for this window, and obviously he'll be under contract longer. But to me, it sounds insane. But because of the position and the timing of this, it might be a bigger loss than Mahomes was for the Chiefs if he recovers quickly.
Are you convinced that Mahomes is as fastidious in his training and his physical regimen as guys like, let's say, Edelman were, or any other number of players who come back early? I mean, Mahomes is, without a doubt, an unbelievably gifted and talented quarterback. I don't look at Mahomes as the guy who lives in the gym and is going to necessarily, just based on what I've seen and know of him, embrace the entire rehab and take care of my body to get back out there as soon as possible. I'm sure he wants to get out there as soon as possible, is he the type of guy who's going to do the work to do that?
So this brings me back to July because there was a show before training camp started. I co-hosted with Felger on BST, and it was like some KC radio host had called Mahomes fat because there was this picture on Instagram where he's got like a little bit of a muffin top going on.
Yeah.
And Felger was like, he's never going to catch Brady. If he stays out of shape, he's fat. This isn't cool. And I'm like, you know how good he's been, right? Like he's done unprecedented things. And to which I'm going to argue with myself here for a second because the little that I do know, which is to say nothing about Patrick Mahomes and his private time and his workouts, is what I've seen on Netflix in that quarterback series last year or the year before. And he's a maniac with certain different workouts. I would say the body composition, what it looks like.
Yeah, when the cameras are on.
Exactly. And then that was the thing. They show you what they want you to show you. The bottom line for me is if his performance is what it is, that's all that I care about. And so the workout piece, you have to be a maniac competitor to do the things in the field that he's done. So I trust that part. When it's taken away from him, though, in a way that has never been before, like Brady would tell you, there's a certain feeling in a place that you go to after these injuries that you can never go to unless they happen to you. The old, you don't know what you got till it's gone. So I don't have a definitive response. But look, like, you don't get to be this level of achiever if you're not insane about yourself physically. And he's been durable. So I'm not as worried about it. But we're going to see a different Patrick Mahomes physically and mentally than we've seen the last 8 years.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, part of what makes Mahomes great, not only the decision-making and play under pressure, he's got sneaky good mobility. That's something that probably
is it even sneaky anymore?
Well, all right,
yeah, I wouldn't say
all right,
sneaky.
fine. There are other players like Josh Allen.
That's
that
like
are more
Zolak
mobile.
calling Thanksgiving a sneaky good family day.
Okay.
Yeah, Thanksgiving sneaky good family
You're
holiday.
making my point for me.
Am I?
Coming off a torn ACL, he's not going to have that mobility next year. If, as you say, he's ready for opening day, it's just not physically possible. I don't think 9
Diggs
months
just did it
out
too.
he's going to be exactly the same mobile quarterback that you just saw before he got hurt. I think
Right, but
that's
if he was
much.
actually sneaky athletic, 80% of sneaky athletic is like not that athletic. I'm saying he's like legit, more than crafty, good, strong, fast athlete.
And he's not going to be 100% when he comes back.
So 80% of that is then downgraded to sneaky athletic. So
Okay.
I still think there's that dimension of his game.
So we're downgrading to sneaky athletic. Okay.
And then he'll recover. He's like 28, 29.
He does have some youth on his side in this. All right, we got 2 more games to get to here. Phillip Rivers on the field for the Indianapolis Colts against the Seattle Seahawks.
Rivers takes a step, 3-step drop, looking, throws inside the 5, touchdown for the Colts, and it's Josh Downs, touchdown, INDY, and the Colts now are on top, 12-3.
Man, Phillip Rivers came off the couch and came out here throwing dimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay.
He threw the ball. I saw a little bit of this game. There wasn't a tremendous amount of zip on these passes.
What was the furthest pass he threw? Because I'm
well,
looking at the numbers.
You know what it was? I'll tell you which one it was. It was this one.
Rivers going to throw down the seam, going to be intercepted, and that's going to do it. Ball was high to the intended receiver. It is picked off by Kobe Bryant.
And that is your ball game. 18-16, Seattle wins without scoring a touchdown.
Okay, Phillip Rivers, 18 completions for 120 yards. All right.
It's like Drake May's day.
No, but that's true. But Indianapolis was smart. They didn't.
If it's made me laugh.
They didn't depend on Rivers.
Hold on. We cannot laugh at the 44-year-old man, though, who did come off the couch and threw a touchdown against maybe the best defense in the NFL in one of the most hostile environments in the NFL. I'll tell you this. I was in the press box watching this game at the very end. They got dozens of TVs. They're playing the games. We're all sitting there writing, tap, 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 tap. Everyone stops. And there's no cheering in the press box. But I allowed myself oh, my God, when he threw that touchdown pass, and then they later set up for a field goal, because this is one of the best stories, single-game stories of my lifetime.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
But not great for the NFL.
What do you mean?
Because it's supposed to be, you can't tell me on one hand that these guys are the best athletes on the planet, that their lives are consumed with building their craft and honing their skills, and then in the next breath say, this guy has literally been on his couch eating donuts for 5 years, and he got off the couch on Monday. He showed up to practice on Tuesday, and he threw a touchdown pass against the vaunted the Seahawks defense on Sunday. You can't have it both ways. And what it does tell me is that, this league is completely tilted and geared toward quarterbacks and doing everything they can to make them look good. And maybe these guys aren't as good as we think they are.
I don't think Phillip Rivers having a 4.4 yards per attempt average is a reflection on the league at large. I think it's a reflection on a maniac 44-year-old who was coaching football, different than sitting on your couch and eating donuts, but obviously not playing NFL football.
What does he look like he's been doing?
He looks like he's been shot putting since, because it's the same motion he had but elongated, and you're just like, your elbow's going to snap, man, if you keep doing this. I love that he just came up and did this. The weird part, though, that we need to zoom out and go is, you remember the Colts when they needed a head coach a couple of years ago? Who did they call?
Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday. Their mode of operation is just who's in my contacts. If we need a head coach, if we need a quarterback, do we need a ball boy or someone to sell beer in Section 201 at Lucas Oil? Who do we know? Not like who's out there. I'm sure Tommy DeVito, even playing for a great Patriots team here, the third stringer, professional healthy scratch, is like, man, I would have done that.
Neither the hirings of Saturday or Rivers were with an eye on the long term. They're like, this will be easy, and he'll say yes, so we'll just do that.
Cool video, aside from the highlights of this game. The kids on the high school team that he coaches celebrating like they're a mid-major team for March Madness that just found out they made the tournament when he throws that touchdown pass. Awesome. You got to look this up.
It's like the rookie. It's like
really
Dennis
cool.
Quaid. Caller 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Gets a 4-pack of passes to go tubing and the Neshoba Valley ski area and a $50 gift card to the Outlook restaurant. Visit skineshoba.com. Caller 10 right now, contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll get to what the Ravens did a little bit later, but Bob Sosi will join us next here on Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots had their 10-game winning streak snapped by Buffalo, care of a 35-31 loss to the Bills at Gillette Stadium. Patriots had a 21-0 second quarter lead but couldn't hold it because the Bills scored touchdowns on 5 consecutive drives. Drake made 2 touchdown passes. Travion Henderson 2 long TD runs for the Patriots on the loss. They're 11-3. They go to Baltimore this Sunday night. Ravens won in Cincinnati yesterday 24-0. They are 7-7. Kansas City eliminated from playoff contention yesterday thanks to a 16-13 home loss to the LA Chargers. In that game, Patrick Mahomes tore his left ACL. Green Bay lost in Denver 34-26. And in that game, Micah Parsons appeared to tear his ACL. Bruins ended their road trip by getting blown out in Minnesota 6-2 by the Wild. Kirill Kaprizov, 2 goals and an assist for the winners. Bruins were down at one point 5-0 in the third period. Their 4-game winning streak is gone. They're back home to play the Utah Mammoths tomorrow night. And the Celtics play Detroit at TD Garden this evening. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the perfect holiday gift, 99 restaurant gift cards. They're the perfect gift for everyone on your list. For every $25 you purchase, you get a $5 bonus card for yourself. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Get
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
If they don't catch it every game, I don't know. Like, it basically happens every game.
To be standing in the booth, and at halftime, I happened to be standing on a little closer to the broadcast area during the break, and Bob said to me, "Hardy, would you be a lamb and hand me my mug of tea?" And it was in a Yeti, like a thermo cooler, and with the tea bag hanging, or the little tea string hanging out the side. The man practices what he preaches, and I was proud to hand him that Yeti and say,
"Hold on,
here's your tea container, Bob." And he said, "Thank you, Hardy. I will now go restock my tea for the second half."
Did he really call you a lamb? Please tell me that's true.
That's how
I can't laugh too much because I have this terrible cough, which my Bigelow tea helped me to resolve at least for several hours yesterday. So I want to give all due credit to the fine folks, Cindy Bigelow and everybody at that great company for allowing me to play through pain yesterday in broadcasting the game.
That's how I
Hardy for your big assist. That was a huge assist.
Yeah, and that's how I remember it, John. He called me a lamb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bob, I was just raising the question off air. If we had a nice off between you and Reese, who is kinder?
I have the answer, by the way, Bob.
I wasn't going to share your pick, but you can. I was just curious. Like, an example would be how long you would be willing to hold the door for someone, a stranger coming behind you into a store or a building or the gym or wherever. And then we would ask Mike the same question. So I'm curious. I think at some point it's a pain for the person. Let's say you're more than 5 seconds behind me. That person feels compelled to rush up. How long would you hold the door? How far? How does Bob Sosie's kindness go?
If I'm aware that someone is coming, I'll hold it as long as it takes. Often I'm unaware. And because of that, I would give Mike Reese not only the nod, but I would say by a considerable distance. He is the nicer of the two. Dan Roach would be in there too if he wasn't such a ball buster.
A phony
at
as well.
times with many of his colleagues, because he is certainly as optimistic as Mike Reese, but I would say Mike is the friendliest of the group.
This is a
Dan.
master stroke by Bob, because what he just did is he raised his game by deferring to Reese and not taking credit as the nicer one, which is what the nicer person would actually do. Number two, your answer about holding the door as long as it takes is exactly what fake Bob Sosie, who might be in the room with us, said during the break. Hardy had this nailed from the start. So congratulations, Bob. You now have a lead in the nice off with Mike Reese with your answer. But Hardy knows you as well as I think anyone in your life.
I thought the answer would have been along the lines of, "Well, Andrew, I appreciate the question. And while I have been fortunate enough to be in many circumstances to hold a door, the only acceptable answer is as long as it takes." And I would just remain grateful that I have two hands, and one of them is free enough to hold the door for any amount of time, provided that it does not interfere or cause some compulsion from the person behind to catch up and hurry themselves along. But I thank you for the question.
I'm often in my own little zone, though, so I'm often oblivious to whoever's coming up behind me.
Here's my answer.
I apologize for that.
Reese wins the battle. He's the nicest out of the lot.
By far. Without question.
I think Roach has edge to him, but it's all kind of tongue in cheek. I don't think it's real edge.
Exactly.
I think you have enough real edge in you to where you're still one of the nicest guys I know. But there are some lines you don't cross. With Reese, there's only been one line that has ever been crossed with him where I know that he got he went away from like full-blown Mike Reese for a while, and it lasted one day, and then it was over. But I think just in terms of, flat out nice across the board, it's probably Reese, and then you and Dan. God, that's a toss-up. That's really close.
I think if there's any weight on being friendly too, again, the scales tip considerably to Mike and Dan by far. Far friendlier than I am. I'm a bit awkward socially for the most part. Off the air and introvert. So I give those guys the nod for being nice and friendly. Far friendlier than I am.
Bob playing chess.
It really is.
Really impressive.
It's a
well master class.
Freaking master. That's what I was going to say.
Seriously.
Beautiful. All right. Anything but a master class by the Patriots in the second half yesterday, Bob. What gives? What happened as you saw the game unfolding? How did what is the story and the explanation between the tale of the two halves?
Well, Hardy, I'll start before the second half. And first I'll start with the prediction or the assumption by someone in our booth that the division championship was the Patriots and the game was over.
Start the buses.
Buffalo fans.
Windows closed. Windows closed, Bob.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot from the Buffalo Bills Mafia in the last 20 hours or so.
And they're nice. You guys are cut from the same cloth. Yeah, they're all nice.
Yeah. So, but I think you go back to the Patriots 21-0 lead in the ensuing kickoff after that touchdown. And when you look at the starting field position after kickoffs, Buffalo 46-yard line, Patriots 28. That's 18-yard difference. That's essentially 2 first downs for Josh Allen on the offense. And I thought it gave Buffalo a spark, obviously, going into halftime. Davis has the 38-yard kickoff return. Then there's the personal foul by Schooler to add on, and it's a short field for Allen and the Bills to get going offensively. The Patriots did get the field goal, but they come right out in the second half, opening kickoff of the third quarter. It's 58 yards the other way. And again, Buffalo, which has been a dominant team in the third quarter this year, the Bills have outscored opponents 109-36. Really a similar script to Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, same script as Cincinnati in a lot of respects last week. The Bills coming out a different team in the second half. And for the Patriots, again, to beat Josh Allen and the Bills, even with a big lead, you have to win on the margins. Because I think when you broke down the game going in yesterday, the Bills had several significant advantages, which played out with the second half as it unfolded. The Bills' offensive line and their tight end packages, the ability to run the ball with Cook against the Patriots' faltering run defense. I mean, the Bills' tight ends, they're pass catchers, what they've done overall this year, but especially now when you look at the two matchups with the Patriots, the middle of that Patriots defensive unit, a vulnerability. And then I think the other part of it is the Bills' red zone offense versus the Patriots' red zone defense, worst in the league. And the Bills were able to win the game because they exploited all of those advantages in the second half.
Bob, I was talking with Mike Reese earlier just about one of the advantages you just mentioned Buffalo had in the trenches. And to me, there's not a whole lot to be done from a talent standpoint. Mike discussed, hey, Milt Williams is going to come back, and Robert Spillane didn't play yesterday, and I think that's true. How do you view that when looking ahead a little bit beyond Baltimore this week and into the postseason, where we all know January football and football in general is won in the trenches? Is that something that worries you? Is it a small concern? What is the role there as far as the Patriots and this team, especially defensively, the way they got pushed around in the second half?
Yeah, Andrew, I think it has been a concern. You know, when we've talked over the last couple of weeks with Fred and Hardy and John about potential vulnerabilities for the Patriots, that's always been there. Because I think where they've improved this year, they lack depth. And that includes certainly with Milton Williams on that defensive line. And I think you add Kairos Tonga in there too. I don't know what the snap count is I haven't checked the snap count today, and I didn't rewatch the game yet, as you might have.
Who are you looking for, Bob?
Tonga was out there early. I didn't see Tonga a lot in the second half, just watching it. I'm not keeping track of the defensive personnel. I think that's a significant factor too. But I think it's a potential issue for them going forward. Because you're right, playoff time, and if they face the Bills a third time, I don't think Buffalo's going to vary much from its approach offensively. Joe Brady, I'll give him credit. He stuck with the run even down 3 scores, and they got Cook going, and that was a huge factor for the Buffalo comeback.
61% defensive snaps for Khyiris Tonga, which is too close as far as where it relates to Corey Durden, who was at 53%. Joshua Farmer was a healthy scratch last month at 49%. So, yeah, look, Milt Williams is going to help a lot, but there's more stuff going on with the run defense than just missing one player, and in the case yesterday of 2. What gave you hope, though, as far as playing Buffalo? We know it was close. We've done a lot of what the hell went wrong.
I was going to do one more. Before we switch over to hope, if you want to focus in on one thing to direct your angst today, Bob, as a Patriots fan, would it be the special teams play? Would it be the red zone defense? Would it be the lack of offense late in the game? What's the one thing that you would focus in on as the thing? Okay, if that's what's going to bother you going forward.
It's funny, Hardy, because I think it's the last one. I think for me, it's the performance of the offense in the second half, and concerns and questions that will be raised and continue to be raised until they're answered positively for the Patriots, or to the Patriots fans and the team's satisfaction. A very disappointing second half offensively for obvious reasons. I mean, I felt immediately after the game, as some people have said, that they got away from the run a little bit too much. But then when you look at the way the drives unfolded, they did have a couple of first down runs that went in the wrong direction. There were a couple of critical penalties, and particularly on one drive that really knocked them out of potential field goal range. They had 2 penalties in a span of several plays. Vidarian Lowe, Mike Onwenu on a hold. I think you could question some of the play calling as we did in the booth, zone in particular, on that final sequence, the 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 call with the throw down the sideline. I know the Patriots might have anticipated maybe a different matchup for Travion Henderson against a linebacker, and he got a defensive back on that play. But I think trying to entrust a rookie in that situation as a back to read coverage, and they had issues, I thought, not only in trying to beat Buffalo's coverage, but in the way they did it, even on that final play. You had a couple of guys right at the outset running to the same spot, and then as the play continued to unfold, 2 other guys wound up, within steps of one another. So the spacing on that particular play wasn't good, and some of the indecisiveness that we saw on Drake's part, you got to give the Bills credit too, because Sean McDermott did that even with Tom Brady at times. That defense perplexed him. And we always saw, I think, in the series between the Patriots and the Bills, just as Buffalo was really meshing defensively the early part of their run in the 5 division championships, that defense caused some confusion for even the all-time great quarterback. So I think for the Patriots, they got to solve those issues going forward. They haven't actually been, over the last few weeks, very good in the second half offensively, at least in the fourth quarter offensively. Third quarter, a lot better, but not necessarily in the fourth.
Bob, you mentioned McDermott's defense. You just teed me up because you're a great teammate. Nicest guy that we know, Mike Reese included. For my favorite stat when it relates to this rivalry, going back to 2017 when McDermott gets there, Patriots quarterbacks, including Tom Brady, have thrown more interceptions than touchdowns against the Bills. That's Brady, Mac Jones, Drake May, Cam Newton, Joe Milton, all in one pot. And that's just how their defense is kind of flummoxed Josh McDaniels. But okay, time for hope. We all know what went wrong, and we're kind of ranking these things, and we're going to talk about them the next 48, 72 hours. We're going to move on to Baltimore. If you say this has to be better, and it will be better because we know more about this team than what we saw yesterday, what is that thing, or are those things?
Well, we'll talk about the defense. First, the run defense has got to be better next week. You got to figure out a way to try to. And I know the Ravens have been in a diminished state, and even when they've had Lamar Jackson back there since his return, he hasn't necessarily been the same Lamar Jackson as we used to see. But it seems like the last week or two, he's getting closer to that, and Derrick Henry is up and going again for Baltimore. And then the tight ends. Andrews, likely. You got to deal with those guys. I think the red zone defense, though, they've got to figure out a way. And it's the question that Mike Vrabel's been asked a lot week in, week out. What's the problem with the red zone defense? 32nd in the league. That was always something the Patriots hung their hat on with Bill Belichick. And I think Mike Vrabel's teams in Tennessee, if memory serves, were always as well, at least when they were at the top of the South Division, a very good red zone defense. And that one to me is especially perplexing, because of, you're looking at guys who know how to coach defense and know how to scheme things up in Vrabel and the guys on his staff. And they haven't been able to figure out a way to come up with stops inside the 20. And then offensively, self-scouting was done. You could see that, and I think put into good use in the first half by Josh McDaniels. Offensively, we saw some new wrinkles for them in the first 30 minutes, some play calls, or at least some motions formations we hadn't seen before. And now I think they've got to figure out a way, how do we solve these problems late in games? And, for Drake May too, the comfort level in conditions, that's going to be a question people are going to ask. I'm not going to go there yet because I think, you can't judge it in a one-game sample on a lousy weather day, particularly as it seemed to worsen with the wet conditions in the second half. But people will have those questions until, again, the answer is provided positively or satisfactorily. So going forward, we're going to find out a lot about this team in all those areas next week and then into January.
Yeah, the other part that has to... There we go. Let's turn on my microphone. The other part that has to improve is, I don't know what you want to call it, a clutch gene. There were so many chances that the Patriots had to get Buffalo off the field on third down. There was that 4th and 2 play that wound up being a pass interference. I don't know how you improve that, or maybe it's just experience of going through it with a young team, but that has to be way better.
Yeah, John, it's funny because I said off air yesterday at one point to Zoe, somebody got to step up and make a play. Pardon me for that cliche, step up. And he said, they don't have the guys to do it right now, or something to that effect. And I think the thing is, and somebody made this point on Buffalo radio, it might have been Steve Tasker during the conversation we had last week. The Patriots defensively, they've got 2 good corners, if not great corners, at least one great corner, Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. The Bills really don't operate these days very much on the outside offensively. And so in a lot of respects, that takes those guys out of it from your defensive point of view. So I think from the Patriots, you look at that group that was out there who was going to be in position to make that play, to get that stop, if you're talking about an individual basis. I think it starts up front, and this is another recurring issue for this team. They've got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And I know Allen makes off-platform plays. He extends plays, and you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, whether you try to make him beat you from the pocket or you get him on the run. But to me, you always want pressure on the quarterback. It's just pressure with containment and discipline in terms of, where you're rushing your rush lanes. So to me, that's a big factor for them going forward as well. You want to make plays. You want to get takeaways. It starts really up front, and then you have to marry it with what's behind it.
All right, Bob, appreciate the time. As always, continue to nurse that voice back to health, and hopefully you're in perfect shape come Sunday night when the Patriots hopefully will be in perfect shape also.
Doesn't sound like his window is closed. He's still got some stuff here at the end of the season just to finish strong. There's more in that voice.
Is that true, Bob?
I certainly hope it's not closed, for sure. And we'll have a little more caffeine in the tea for a Sunday night game now that contest has been flexed. But we're looking forward to it. And I always enjoy being with you, gentlemen. Oh. And you are very fine gentlemen, scholars,
Look
and
at
gentlemen.
That.
It's been my great pleasure to be with you.
Got to leave the gym on a make.
Bob Sosi leaving Mike Reese in the dust.
Wow.
A speck in his rear view, pulling away with the nice off.
It's a little too syrupy for my taste, but we love you, Bob. Thank you.
See you, Bob.
Hey, thanks, guys. All the best. Take care.
There you go. There goes Bob Sosi, one of the 3 nicest guys in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's tied for second at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not missing anyone, are we?
I don't think so.
I mean, there's no one in this building.
No. No. Rochi rounds out the top 3.
Rochi, Reese, and Sosi.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is there anybody else? Certainly no one else on the beat with you, right?
It is Boston sports media. So.
Yeah. We'll think about it.
Honorable mention my guy, Doug Kyde.
Kyde's a nice guy.
Nice guy. Outside looking in.
How about Dussault? Dussault seems like a good guy.
No, he's got edge.
Oh, does he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, don't sleep on Dussault.
Makes me like
you
him
never
a lot
heard the
more.
story why they call him Deuce?
Yeah.
No.
Upper decker.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Mike Dussault being
Just
a prick.
don't sleep around Mike Dussault. How about
Yeah,
that?
right, yeah. Perfect. Leave it there. Email stack all on the way. Stay with us.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, it's
Toucher and Hardy without Fred this morning, but Andrew Callahan is here now. Andrew, are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes. 8 to 9.
All right, good. At which point, I assume you'll bring a 2 stats and a lie.
I will.
But on days like today, when you are in here co-hosting, we don't expect you to bring 2 stats and a lie. Instead, we'd like to provide that for you. And 2 stats and lies become a benchmark here. So to help us in that regard, Nick Gimelli has put together a 2 stats and a lie this morning.
Wow. Blindsided by this. I had no idea it was coming.
It's a big surprise to everyone here in the room. So Nick is making his way in from the studio right now. He's going to sit down at Fred's position.
Whoa. We need to get a picture and send this to Fred.
The infamous guac spot.
Oh. The filthy microphone.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good. All right. So, Nick, I posed this to you at approximately 6:45 this morning.
You did, yes.
And he's like, oh, no. I said, Nick, just come up with like 2 things that are true and then make one thing up. They don't have to be football related. You don't have to worry about it. Just okay, when you want it. I'm like, at least 2 hours to work on this. So I gave you closer to 3 hours.
Well, it's not like he's busy during the show. Yeah,
he's really
he's
not.
not doing anything.
No.
Giveaways, calls, social, YouTube.
So this was something you had plenty of time to do, so I expect this to be really, really good.
I came up with them.
Okay, do you want music?
Sure.
Even though it's singing about Andrew?
Yeah.
We might as well have the music.
Might as well.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3.
Let's do this.
It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see you can get it right.
Where are your headphones?
That's true. I should go back. Is that okay?
You should have headphones. I mean, this
is a radio medium. Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be a natural thing to. Anyway, that's just me.
I was going to let it go, John. I mean, you came in here without the headphones.
I could pull through.
Well, now you have them plugged in. Why don't you put them on your head?
For a reason.
Why did you plug them in and not put them on?
Because they don't have the right adapter.
It doesn't have
all
the
right.
adapter,
Yeah.
so
All right. I got
it's not a big deal. All right. I know you're a big fan of the MCU, right?
The what?
The MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No.
No? Oh. I was joking. I know you don't like it. But
that was a good joke.
The MCU, Phase 4 alone released more movies than Phase 1 and 2 combined.
That's number one?
I don't know what
That's number one.
Okay.
I don't even know what you mean.
Why aren't you writing this down?
Well, there's phases of like.
Why aren't you guys writing this down?
Why aren't you writing them down?
See
My
this?
mistake. You're
See
right.
this, Nick? I took it seriously. All right.
Thank you.
More
Wally.
movies than Phase
By
1,
the way,
2, and 3?
The twist for this year is these are worth 10 points.
So
So if you get this one, this is worth
week?
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the week.
Right. Phase 4 released more movies than Phase 1, 2, and 3 combined?
Right. The first phase, the first 3 phases, that was the Infinity Saga. And now we're in the Multiverse Saga. We've started, which is 4, 5, and 6.
Duh.
Yeah.
So
Phase 4 has more movies than 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3.
So Phase 4 alone released more movies than Phase 1 and 2 combined.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. Number 2. Men with greater glute muscle mass tend to produce higher sprint speed. Excuse me. Tend to produce higher sprint speed and jumping power.
Okay. Now, obviously, Nick has done this because that is quite a wagon he's dragging. He's got a big,
Based on your race against Fred, that's a lie.
big, beautiful muffin ass.
No.
No, let me finish.
Well, go ahead.
He's got a big ass. And we talk about it all the time.
Always ass.
Right. So, Nick has brought this up as a means to highlight his own attributes.
Yeah.
And I would say his race against Fred proves this to be true. Nick was great in that race. He almost won that race.
But he didn't.
But he could have, and he's in terrible shape. He's mostly dead.
Louth was there, and he said the same thing. I almost had him.
He's had open heart surgery. He has to go to the doctor like every week just to make sure that he's not dying at that second.
Okay.
We're leaving out a variable here. Is Fred flat? Does he have...
He has a very flat ass.
Truck?
Flat ass.
Dump
Yes.
truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sad.
Fred's flat.
A sad ass.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3. Godzilla has appeared in more than 35 featured films, more than any other movie character in history.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to start.
All right, go ahead.
Number 3 is the lie. I like the fact at the end. Number 2 just has to be true. I've been in too many locker rooms. If it's not, I've wasted a lot of time, which isn't to say a lot of time, but enough. Number 1, if it was a lie, I would think it would be 1, 2, and 3. So Godzilla, I don't know the character that would be ahead of Godzilla, but this feels to me like he was second on a list of characters that have appeared in the most movies.
Okay. So you're saying number 3 is the lie?
I think number 3 is the lie.
Okay. All right. I was all on board with the first 2 being true. And for the exact opposite reason you think on number 1. I think if it were going to be a lie, he would have included phases 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
But he limited it to 2. And for that reason, I think Marvel has released more movies in Phase 4 than 1 and 2 combined. I think that's true. I think the ass thing is true, and I think he's doing it not only to prop himself up, but because it just sounds correct. But I don't want to have the same answer as you.
We agreed, though. You said you agree with me, but for different reasons, and we're like in lockstep here. Also, what do you read about the body language? Because I know you stare through me when I'm doing these.
Yeah.
It's a way to try to discern things.
Yeah.
There's a little disappointment. I don't know if Nick has a poker face. Now he's not looking at me. So there's... We're trying to read.
So you think that, but you think number 1 is the lie?
No. I said 3 is the lie.
Is the lie.
I believe, for the exact same reason you laid out, if number 1 was a lie, it would have been 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
Not to mention, we're in a multiverse. There are more characters. More movies.
But
That's my thought.
I think 3 is also true.
Is there some kind of thing where we get points?
Oh, can they all be true?
Can they all be true?
No, I wasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
One of them is definitely a lie.
All right. I'm going to go against what I think, and I'm going to say, just in order for there to be some action here, I'm going to say number 1 is the lie, because I think Godzilla thing is true.
All right.
So I'll say 1 is the lie.
There's no way in hell any of us could know if 1 is lie or truth. And if we all got it wrong, okay, too bad, no problem. 1 is true. The second one, Nick wants to be true, whether it is or not. So 3 is definitely the lie.
All right, so you and Andrew agree that 3 is the lie.
Yes.
I'm saying number 1 is the lie.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Hardy, you are correct.
Oh!
Damn it!
Phase 4 had 7 movies, while Phase 1 and 2 combined had 12 movies. Also, the gluteus maximus drives hip movement and is key for sprinting, jumping, and explosive power. Bigger, stronger glutes are linked to better performance. As you can see in that video where I was racing Fred last year.
But you lost, Nick.
Dude.
He was...
Hey, to take from Don the caller...
Watch the video again.
He did his best.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was severely handicapped by his handicaps. He's got a severely weakened heart.
He covered the spread on the race.
He's had a stroke.
There was a spread? I didn't see that. My mistake.
2-time stroke. Yeah.
2-time
You
stroke
had 2
survivor.
strokes?
Yep.
2 strokes.
It's true.
He's been covered in his own feces, passed out in his own apartment, left for dead in some ways.
I should have a heart. You're right.
The fact that he was able to compete in a race at all, much less almost secure a victory against a taller, longer-legged contestant, really speaks to the big ass being good at racing thing being true. Yeah.
And Godzilla has appeared in 38 films.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. Wait. You said Godzilla had
more than 35.
More than 38.
More than 35. Okay.
Yes.
More than 35 is 38.
Yes.
Yeah. Was there a list? Was I who's number 2 in that list? Character that has appeared in the most featured films.
I didn't go that far. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Papa's got 2 stats, but just one line. Papa's got
Well done, Nick. That's the first one I've ever gotten wrong.
Just one line. Gotta make up your mind. Which one is the
Look at that truck go.
See, this is the thing. You took a shot at Andrew. I took a shot at Andrew. Neither of us could trip him up. Nick trips up Andrew Callahan.
How about that?
He just distracted me. He sat down. It looks like he was in a booster seat. It's just his ass hoisting him up higher than I expected.
Yeah, he sits. I mean, he's much shorter than Fred, but sits taller than Fred because that ass cushion just props his torso up that much.
Had a good
higher.
poker face, too. Just acted like he was nervous, and he had me the whole time.
He did a very good
job. It was a long
job.
con.
Right.
Well done.
Thank you, Nick. We'll be back with the stack, catch up on some emails and everything else to wrap up the show here on Toucher and Hart.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius.
Well, it wouldn't be two stats and a lie without controversy. And we have our expected controversy after young Nicholas and his two stats and a lie.
Controversy.
From Don Bertolino. Quick bit of research finds that hundreds of films feature Frankenstein's monster, with one source citing 433 feature films and 212 short films, plus numerous TV appearances, making it the most widely adapted characters ever.
Turns out, Andrew, you and I were right.
I don't take any victory in this.
433 feature films. That seems difficult to believe.
And there's a new one that is coming out, just came out.
So the
what's his
Benicio
name?
del Toro
Yes.
one is already on like Apple or Netflix or something. But there's another one coming out too, isn't there? Another Frankenstein movie?
Perhaps. Well,
or
I mean,
like
there's
Bride of
430 of them.
Frankenstein.
So if you're crunching the numbers, I mean, they got to put one out every 6 to 8 months to keep on that pace. I'm assuming. Give me that Stack sponsorship when you get a chance, there, buddy.
Oh yes. Sir.
What is Frankenstein's monster doing? Like, is it just waking up every time? Does he go to the beach? Like, is he scaring different villagers? Is he?
Well, Abbott and
I don't
Costello had a couple of run-ins with him. The Stack, by the way, is brought to you by New England's largest Volkswagen dealer group at colonialvw.com, located in Medford, Wellesley, and Westboro. Come see the amazing finance and lease offers during VW's winter deal days. Yes, you can have it all at Colonial. So, Nick, controversy. I'm with you. I think you were right. I don't, unless you show me a list of the Frankenstein feature films, I'm going to say you were correct, which means I was correct, which means I win. 10 points.
Would love to know the source on that, too, because he just can't trust any of the Google AI slop that spit out when you search something. We once had a small debate in our, this is my homeboys chat. Do mice have paws or do they have hands? And Google AI said yes, they have hands. Google AI said
No, Google AI
yes,
just said yes,
yes,
and
they,
then ended the answer.
They have
because
paws.
that's what AI does.
There
It
were
gives you
different
an answer
different
that's not an
links
answer.
with conflicting answers. So I don't know where that came
What
from.
do you think?
I don't remember. I think I settled on paws. But it's also not up to me.
What about raccoons, Andrew?
Raccoons have a special place in the chat's heart, but that's for another day.
Well, opposable thumbs with the raccoons, right?
Right, so it would be hands.
Yes, raccoons' hands.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Email here, Sarah and Everett.
Oh, good.
What a pleasant day despite the loss. I think McDaniels constantly struggles making calls in the second half, and I told my boyfriend when they were up by 21 it wasn't enough, he laughed. Please, Andrew, get into radio. You are funny, informative, and easy to listen to. Swears she doesn't dislike Fred, but Fred has evidence to the contrary. Jeremy says, Hardy, shouldn't Nick's walk-in music be the theme song to Reading Rainbow? I don't know if that's appropriate. I think he can. I think he's literate. Yeah, he has trouble pronouncing words, but I think he knows what the word.
Ponka-po-og.
Okay. He had trouble with Ponkapog, but a lot of people have trouble. That's a
Who
tough
doesn't?
word. Yeah. Crybaby Pats fans. Hardy, as usual, this fan base is the most pathetic in the NFL. Brady and Mahomes, and now he's referring to the caller earlier who said that the Pats tried their best. And by the way, watching Mahomes go down last night, shame on anyone who thought that Mahomes was the next Tom Brady. Like, what? He said Brady and Mahomes are fairly even through the first 9 years of their careers. What remains to be seen is how Mahomes will perform in the second half of his career. TBD, but you can't take it away from Mahomes. He has 70 more touchdowns than Brady at this point in their respective careers.
TBD, Tom Brady doubtful.
I mean, I'm not doubting Patrick Mahomes, just like I got out of the doubting Tom Brady business after 2014 when I thought they were done after the Monday night loss to the Chiefs. I said, that's it. Dynasty's over. Put a fork in it. It was wrong. I would not make any predictions about Patrick Mahomes' ability to rebound and continue to play at a high level. I do question whether or not he's going to have the work ethic, body type, whatever, to rebound quickly from an ACL. And if he's going to be out there week one of the regular season, which Andrew Callahan said, you're not reporting. You're just saying, but maybe, guys do come back quickly, much more quickly from ACLs than they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible. I would be surprised.
A lot of change for them. Travis Kelce, I think, looks like he's going to retire. They'll have a top 15 pick coming in. Andy Reid's future has been raised even after Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is – I still think Mahomes could come back week 1, and it could still be a transition year for the Chiefs, who have not been able to develop a receiver after Tyreek Hill left and really been patching this roster together with older veterans, which, look, that's been more than good enough to get to the Super Bowl and obviously win some.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, just like the Patriots did, specifically after that bad season here, again, 2009 was what, 10-6, 11-5, John?
Something like that, yeah.
2010 draft. Devin McCourty, Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez for a couple of years. But the point was, you found a new core to ride into the second half of a dynasty. That's up to their front office as much as it is Patrick Mahomes.
One email here from Tim in Nashua talking about Vrabel and the use of the clock at the end of the first half. I don't remember the possession beforehand. I do remember the Patriots when they were bleeding down clock to kick the field goal and wondering if they were getting a little too cute with it. I saw something similar later on in the Rams-Lions game. I mean, these guys know with 6 seconds whether they have another play in them. I do wonder sometimes what they're gaining by some of these plays, and would it be the worst thing in the world to leave 2 seconds on the clock at the end of the half for the other team to get the ball, for a kickoff?
They bled a lot. They took their time, went from 1:30 down to 1 minute. And, here were their first 3 plays. 1:56 on the clock, 1:14, then 39 seconds, and it was third down in their own territory. So that's saying, hey, if we don't get this, there's half a minute left when we punt it. So, I don't know. Clock management, of all the things that went wrong yesterday, that stinking, rotten, godforsaken game, it's just low on my list.
Yeah, clock management is definitely a day 2 conversation, so we can have that tomorrow when you are back, Andrew.
Day 2 stats on the line.
All right.
Hey.
And Fred will be back, and John and I will be here. Thank you for being here this morning, Andrew.
Of course.
Great job.
Anytime.
Zolak and Bertrand coming up next. We will talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Touch your